Boom. 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 Boom.
Hello and welcome back to the Pop Tab Podcast, the podcast that's as sweet as soda for breakfast. I'm one of your hosts, Brent, Kruscke, the upholder of the unpopular opinion, and joining me today, as always, the ghost host, Jacob Stokes.
Boo.
The Pop Tab. Oh,
I wasn't ready for that.
oh, I'm sorry.
I should have been.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I was like, man, he's so elevated.
I'm going high, you know? I feel like I've been down. I want to go high. I want to go hot. I want to go loud. The Pop Tap Podcast is filmed in front of a live Twitch audience. If you want to be part of that audience, head on over to twitch.tv/RollPixel to do just that. Like James is right now, subscribing at the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much, James. Really appreciate that. For 5 whole months. I don't know why I said 4. 5 is right there screaming at me. But I went for 4. I don't know how.
You just like pull forward.
I don't know.
Have we been doing this for 5 months? Or has it been longer?
This is episode 31. So, break that down. Yeah, 5 months, right?
No. I was waiting.
4 weeks. 4, 7?
8 months.
8 months.
I mean,
Close.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take. Longer. If you just want to listen to this, you can check it out later on YouTube at youtube.com/RealPixel. Or if you just want to just listen to it, audio version's on Patreon, patreon.com/RealPixel. You can do all that. There's all that. I kind of got messed up in there with James throwing it in, but that's all right.
James.
Thanks, James. Thanks for ruining it. No, I'm just
First
kidding.
it was thanks. Now it's thanks.
No. It works out. I mean, the
okay.
intro always gets filtered through whatever's going on, right? Usually the very beginning's okay. And even that, sometimes I mess it up. It's all over the place. We just go for it. It's all live, you know? Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
There's no fix it and post here, except for bathroom breaks. I cut those out. Then you know.
I was just say, yeah, there
and I
actually
maybe
is a
boost
little bit,
audio.
yeah,
and there's a little bit, but
there's a
mostly.
little bit of fixing.
So as we do always, that was messed up. We are going to start with a little bit of housekeeping this week. A little bit different. So streams are going to be changing, mostly because more work's coming in at work. So we're still making content. We're actually making more content.
Don't you mean more funds coming in at work?
That's true. I'm excited for it, but it's going to be different content somewhere
I
else.
was only kidding.
Oh,
I mean, it is fun.
I mean, it's fun. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. Tomorrow is going to be fun. I'm pumped.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what the fuck's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's, which is what causing me not to be able to stream on Thursday this week. So it's like,
Right. That's just kind of
correlates.
this week, though, because of the behindness.
Yeah.
Not the skippingness.
Yes. So, but this week I'll be streaming Friday, doing some more Bloodborne. I've got to beat, I think, 2 more bosses in the DLC. Then I'll wrap up the first playthrough, and then we're starting to go through really trophy hunting, really after that. And then, so then Saturday, I'm taking the day off from streaming, so me and Bethany can play all through Split Fiction. Pretty excited about that. And then Sunday, we might be seeing a movie, so I'll be busy then.
We might be.
Well, I'm just saying. Who
You
knows?
never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I never want to. That's the plan.
I'm sad that that's how you feel. You have to temper your expectations.
Well, you just with where we're at right now, with everything going on around us, I just like to be like, we will most likely be seeing a movie Sunday, but just in case. If we come back next week and go, we didn't see the movie Sunday. Because now everyone's going to be expecting a review. So, you know, you got to
I've got more on that.
Okay, cool. Oh, shoot. Okay. Then we go into what we've been playing, what we've been watching, and everything like that. I know you've watched a ton of Gundam to prep for this movie on Sunday. So there's a lot of that. But real quick, me and Alec played Fly Night on stream. If you did not check out the stream, I would definitely check out the VOD. Fly Night is awesome. I had so much fun with it. It exceeded my expectations, and I kept being flabbergasted by how much I was enjoying playing that game. Because at first I was like, it screams like it could be enjoyable, but I'm like, I don't know. But it won me over, and I was deep into it. I want to play it through again. It's like a 3-hour game if you want to just go from beginning to end, but there's a lot more you can explore, a lot more things you can do. So really fun, really excited. Hopefully more from that team. If it's more Fly Night or a different game, I will play it. It's going to be awesome. So that's the big game. And then obviously we've both been playing a lot of Monster Hunter still.
Yep.
And then I played also with Alec Frag Punk, and you jumped in for some Frag Punk for a little bit.
I did. I think 4 games total.
Yep. We played
right.
Team Deathmatch. I don't think you ever tried the round-based thing, right?
I have no reason to.
That's fair. I think this round-based is better than post or other round-based for people that don't play it, just because without ranked, much shorter games.
Oh, sure.
It's not like in my head, League of Legends is a long game to play one match of League of Legends.
It's like 45 minutes.
That's what like round-based shooters feel like, where this one's like you can get done in 20.
A
It's
ranked
quick and-
Overwatch where you're doing the payload and then you have to
Yeah.
switch and now you're pushing the payload and there's a tie, so we gotta
Yep. But
that can get crazy long.
But Fragpunk, the shooting feels awesome. So if you like any type of shooters, because it's a tactical shooter like a round-based shooter like Counter-Strike or Valorant, but it's got that arena-type feel to it, like a Call of Duty or something like that. So really, if you enjoy any type of shooters, I would give it a shot. It's free.
Free's always good.
Free's always good.
It's also made by NetEase and it feels and looks a lot like their other popular game right now, Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
So if there's any stylistic or functional choices of those games you like.
Yeah. But it's a absolute blast. And it has, I think, the best overtime mechanic of any shooter ever. 1v1, you bring your health into the
Almost
next
like
round.
like a shootout, like Strike.
Kind of, yeah.
Like a sudden death kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of feeling of like, all right, we're both set up. It happened. All right, next two. I mean, with the goalie, it's different and stuff, but you know, it's like, all right, next two. And it's just like who gets the ups and downs, and you measure those.
It's really cool.
It's tug of war.
I think the biggest thing about it is because when you start, you have all your abilities and your full health. You play round one, whatever you used up, health and abilities, they're gone the next round. So it's like there's a character that goes invisible, and the other players get an indicator she's around, and you can hear her. So she can still get killed, but it's like you can use that one round in sudden death. Next round, you don't have that. So it's not like you can just go.
You can't just
ability through
Spam.
the end. Yeah. But yeah, it's very satisfying to know she's invisible, because when she's invisible, she only has a knife. And you get the little indicator you hear, and you turn, and you get her, and you're like, fuck yes, you thought you had me. God, it feels so satisfying. But then more often than not, than not, you just hear a little, and you're like, no, damn it, they got me, because they're stabbing you in the back. So definitely worth checking out if you're interested in any type of shooter. And I think the card mechanic that they have, which is essentially rule changers, like the opposing team has big heads. All guns are free this round, which, unlike having to buy guns in other shooters, it's essentially like every gun you have 2 purchases of when you're playing offense, and then 2 purchases of when you play defense. If you survive, you just have the guns you want the whole time. You don't have to earn enough money to buy those guns. And then once you lose it, you got to earn the money again. It's like you auto have buy of everything. So also, I think streamlines the process a little bit, where it's like, hey, we're doing a save round or a buy round.
I would say the whole idea of a buy round. Yeah.
It's like, hey, everyone pick what guns you want. I've transitioned where I've started playing with a lower level gun in the beginning, trying to get a couple, like at least 1 or 2 wins out of like an SMG, and then switching to an assault rifle for the later rounds, because I know I can at least have them for 2 and stuff. So it's changed my mind a little bit from having more rounds in ranked and stuff, but still really cool, really fun. Those are the big ones besides Monster Hunter, which we can talk on more. But what have you watched? I saw you pull up Letterboxd, and I see a list.
I've always got, that's the same list it always is.
I know.
So Monster Hunter I've been having a lot of fun with, though.
Yeah.
I finally finished all of the monsters.
Every single monster?
Well, at least I've discovered not all the little guys, because those, whatever, the endemic life, those ones you can kill too. I don't think I've gotten all those, but there's not like a, 10 out of 10 or 15 out of 15. There's nothing like that. But I got to the point where now there is no next mission. Well, story mission. There's plenty of optional quests.
Right.
But there's no next story mission where you discover the new monsters. My hunter rate cap is uncapped, so I can just to the moon. Like when I was thinking of Monster Hunter World, I saw people in the 200s, 300s. So it's like, I'll just...
Oh, it just goes forever?
It just goes.
Oh, okay.
Just keeps going. Because now it used to be, you can't hunt this monster. You have to be hunter rank 12. Why does that matter? Well, because they cap you at 11 until you beat this story mission, which the story mission will then allow you to be 18, but that encompasses 12 as well. So
gotcha.
Then you can hunt the thing because they know you've discovered it. Is kind of the hidden ways that they gate you. So you don't just like discover a monster by hunting with a pal who's ahead of you.
It's really interesting how concerned they are with how you discover the monsters and how you're introduced to them.
Yeah, I think it's because they all come with a cutscene, right? They want to build up the hype for the monster, and they're like, the design we put into it, the story, the whatever. And even though it is a terrible, silly, stupid roundabout way of being able to do it, you can co-op together the whole story. You watch cutscenes by yourself. You do the walk and talk portions by yourself. Mm-hmm. But then as soon as you see the monster, everyone in your party gets an invite. And if you time it well with your friends, you just like, all right, I'm waiting for whoever's last. Who's the furthest away from finding this next monster? Cool. You watch the cutscene. Sweet. All right, you found the monster. We're coming to you.
Yeah.
And you just abandon your quest is essentially it and join theirs, and then it like continues it for you. So it's a bitch. But
I think on stream what we had was it was me, Alec, and Stoney. We were playing, and it would be like, cool, Alec got to the monster, or I got to the monster. And it would be like, cool, I'm waiting for you. And I'll be like running around dodging, and I'll be doing a little damage, but I'm like, I'm waiting for everyone to get here so we can really fight it. But then you have like Stoney be like, oh my God, why is this secret walking so slow? Just get me to I know I have to get, it's like every time we'd get to that weird portion where someone was like 12 seconds behind.
I likened it to a Mortal Kombat story where it's like, yeah, for the people who really like this, there is a through line. There is something you can take away. There's character development for some, at least. There's like evolutions, like, oh my God, this one character died and now they're back as this ultra powerful character. I'm thinking Mortal Kombat. But realistically, if you just hold the skip button, you're going to be in a fight. You're going to be in a fight in the next thing. There's not going to be some like side scroller mini game all of a sudden. It's like, all right, I'm just going from fight to fight, and that's okay.
It's not even like in those, it's not even like, hey, you're not fighting a monster, but we need you to go gather blank, blank, and blank to prep for the next fight. It's like,
thank God.
They just,
because they used to do that shit.
Oh, man.
There was only one base camp.
Yep.
And you would go and be like, I need, well, say flash bugs, and they're only in the forest. So I'm going to highlight the forest picket, and it starts the hunt timer. You have a hunt timer of expedition to just go and wander, and you can't just, and then you have to go to the same spots to get the same flash bugs, to get the same whatever, and come back just so you can have them in your pods to use them.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm getting just showered in stuff. Well, and you probably, I don't know if you've gotten far enough, but if you do enough of the side quest stuff for like with individual people, there's one in every region that you find. They are essentially like farmers, gatherers that I say, hey, go search for bugs for me.
Oh, okay.
And they go, okay, cool. And then I'll just get a message later. Hey, I found a bug. And there's just they have 16 slots. You can get 16 bugs from these people.
Oh, okay.
And you can say, go get honey. Go get herbs. So I have honey, herbs, thunder bugs, or flash bugs, whatever, the one that, you blind them with. Spider silk stuff so I can make the pitfall traps if I ever need to trap a monster. Something for tranquilizers. I don't remember the other one.
Yeah.
I think the other one is like ancient parts, which is like just for trading. But all the same, it's just go get shit for me. And then I just show back up and, oh, there it is. And then I also now have I've got like hundreds of thousands of Zenny. And it's like 20 for a potion. There's a guy that comes to the town every like 2 real days or something. And he brings things that you can trade your guild points for that are like weapons and weapon parts. And you can say, hey, next time, bring me this type of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like if you remember Zur in Destiny.
Oh, it's funny because when you do that tone, I'm like, he's bringing up Destiny, but you said Zur, and I was like, oh, maybe he's not talking about. Oh, wait, no,
Zur
it is Destiny.
In Destiny.
I was.
Who
Destiny.
would show up for Friday, Saturday, Sunday with a random exotic for each thing, a random roll on an exotic weapon, and then you could get a truly random thing at a higher power level. If I could say, hey, bring me assault rifles.
So next Friday.
It's just assault rifles. So that's what I've done. I was like, hey, I don't need herbs or honey or whatever because I got farmers for that. Bring me weapon parts. And he'll drop like rare gems. And he'll be like, like one of the things he brought me this last time was, here's a hunting horn you don't own.
Oh, shit.
And I could just pay guild points. And it was like, I have tens of thousands of those. And it was like 200.
Easy.
Honk. Bought it.
Remember back in the day when there'd be like the site people posting where Zur was that week? It was like you had to go find him.
Say back in the day, dude.
Well, I'm saying back in the day when people played Destiny, like 2015.
I used to, because it'd be Friday the day, because I think reset was at like 1.
Where is Zur.com? Why is it? This just must be.
Well, he's at the Tower of the Bazaar because now he's just like an NPC, but. He does rotate on Fridays to get rare shit. He's someone you can like
What's
trade.
The background there? Is it just like an ad, or is that part of Destiny?
No, that's the tower.
Oh wow!
It's just I'll go low, and now you can see the tower. That's
sense.
Where he is. But
yeah,
look, we're way high up in the tower.
That looks just like an ad for some sort of shipping company or something. It's just like those orange.
God, I can't look at this anymore, dude. You know what's cool about these right here? These exotic cloaks that they did for the first time. They have 2 exotic rolls on them, dude. 2, any random 2. And sometimes you can get an exotic perk from a different class.
Whoa!
Not me though.
I think we need to have like a funeral for Destiny, maybe like a Viking funeral, so you could say goodbye.
I need to.
Get a Destiny 2 case and just like put it in a boat and just float out into the lake.
Get like a physical copy of the game, of a free game.
Set it aflame.
That's so funny.
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you need closure. I think that's what you need.
I don't need shit. Anyway.
So anyway, yeah, Monster Hunter's been a lot of fun.
Now I can just log in and just kind of get everything randomly handed to me that's like I need for a hunt. So I don't need to do any expeditions, like you said. The missions are just monster. Sometimes it's weaken the monster. Sometimes like it's not actually kill it or whatever. But yeah, so I fully discovered everything, and now it's nice because it unlocked the sort of final tier of weapons, which is, there's like question marks all over the thing, but there's also at the end that like pops up. There's a whole new row that you haven't seen.
Only at the very end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once your hunter rank is uncapped.
Because I was like, I've got 2 more things to unlock, and I'm like, I haven't even rolled credits. There's a whole post game I know of, and I only have 2 weapons I haven't gotten yet. That's crazy.
Well, there's a couple things to it. One, there is that final rarity at 8, I think. It's like the orange rarity. It's the kind of legendary rarity of weapons. That's going to take a little bit more target farming to be like, I need this thing.
Okay.
As soon as mine unlocked the one horn I wanted, I had already target farmed the other thing to like get to it. Because you can't buy a level 3 weapon without buying a level 2 weapon without buying a level 1 weapon. So like I'd already farmed so much to get up that once it available, I was able to buy it immediately. Felt real good for that.
I should really look, because it just feels like when you're saying level 1, level 2, level 3, like there's not that many options for the charge blade. It doesn't seem like. It seems like there's a lot of level 1s. Then there's some that are like, there's one here, but it's not a level 2 because it's just the first in this line. And that has 1 upgrade. And there's maybe one that goes 1, 2, and 3. But that's like it.
Well, you're going to get another chunk once credits roll. And then
there's another chunk after credits too.
Well, yeah, because I don't know. It's tough to say credits because it's when it happens. It's
right
after mission like 3, I think story mission whatever.
I'm guessing
3.
after you fight the thing that's in the title card, the white owl looking whatchamacallit.
After that, and then after that.
Oh, after that.
Geez. There's that guardian monster, and then there's one other one.
Oh, okay.
That's really fucking cool.
Okay, good, because
it's at least visually, VFX, all that stuff. It's super worth it. Okay. It's one that I go, I don't need your stuff. Like your stuff isn't what I want. I actually want the one before it. So I just unlocked that one in the like high rank mode. That's the one I need to target farm now for 2 more pieces, and then I'm kind of kitted out the way I want.
I just killed. We killed the Black Flame, the Una whatever, the lava squid thing.
Duna.
Yeah, I killed that a few times, and now I'm like all in like black silk with the skull
with
mask
the
and
like line skull. Yeah, dude, that I was like, how did this come off this octopus?
I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit in the game.
And then
I really like, because you haven't seen it yet, but the Guardian Arcveld, the thing that is the owl looking thing with the whip chains that you're talking about, it's kind of second set of gear, the sort of female set of gear, dude. As soon as I'm able to unlock all of it, like there's pieces of it I need functionally, so I'm gonna get those. Then I'm gonna get the other ones and for the transmogs because oh my god, I love it so much.
I've got my Palico in like the white samurai kind of armor, only because it makes him look like a Metabot. Like I was like, this looks like a Metabot character, and I'm like, now I've got a little Metabot running with me. Totally dope. But I
have 2 things, 2 armors to show you. This is the one a lot of people are rocking because you have to beat the game to get it. So this is called the Ardian.
That is the most Final Fantasy looking armor. Like I know I fought those guys in a Final Fantasy game.
So I've heard them described as, funny enough, Destiny, like a Titan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the helmet and stuff. Like it's a very the sharpness of the helmet on the bottom is like what Zavala would be wearing that.
Yeah, I guess in my head, if you take out the jaw and you see the mouth moving, that's a Final Fantasy armor. Oh, it's usually it's like a nameless character, but you can see the mouth moving.
The second thing I've heard them called, because you can customize armor with colors. I've seen people do the Iron Man colors.
Okay.
So the Iron Man skin is what people are calling it. The third one is that people are calling them, which I think is inappropriate, because when people told me, and I was like, yo, I get what skin? But then I got this. I was like, oh, you guys don't fucking know anything. Power Rangers.
Oh.
And I was like, so someone's like, dude, the Power Ranger skin later in the game. I was like, the fucking what? The Power Rangers? Turns out I saw it. I was like, oh, this is like an Iron Man skin. This is great. This guy did red and gold. And they're like, oh, that's the Power Ranger set. And I was like, okay, well, sure.
these uneducated youths of today don't understand.
Seriously, I don't.
But I look at that, and I don't know if you can't do like arms
That's
separate
the
colors,
Palico
right?
armor. That thing floating by you, it becomes like a spaceship floating next to you.
You
No,
can't-
it's silly.
It's like arms are colors, right? You can't do like one arm, one color, one arm a different. You can't separate them and stuff.
No, I don't think so.
'Cause in my head-
I think you can separate arms, but not individual arms.
Yeah.
Arms from legs, arms from chest.
Because in my head, if you could do a little bit more customization with the colors, that would be a sick Samus. Do like the blue for the gun on one arm and stuff.
I could see that. Yeah,
That would be cool.
dope.
But
It's really interesting though. They have like robo heels with like wrenches for toes. They're very strange. Now I got one more to show you.
because I want to give my Palico the lantern weapon. I see other Palicos running around with it, and I want it.
Just the weapon.
The cloak is cool too, but the weapon is what I want.
Well,
more.
yeah, I was just gonna show you. I was like, that right there is the Palico I'm rocking.
It's
Because
super
it's
dope.
so fun. I was like,
It's
dude, look at
super
this
dope.
little spooky bitch.
But the lantern is
Little
so
ghost guy.
cool.
But anyway, so there's those. We're talking about there not being enough weapons in the trees. There's those things that you're going to have chunks of unlocks. The first chunk from rolling credits, not much.
Okay.
It's like, oh, look, another monster. So you get like 2 more tiers of things. The final one is like, it unlocks one final weapon of like every element from every monster. Well, not every weapon has a monster variant, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I have an Odo Garen weapon.
Okay,
The guy that you fought last. I don't think there's a weapon for me that has his parts.
gotcha.
But there's a sword that does. So it's like, but maybe the sword doesn't have the Chatacabra, which everyone does because it's the first
Right,
one. But you know
yeah.
what I'm getting at. But there, if I remember, I think it's 23 weapons that are the orange rarity.
Okay,
That are all unique styles, unique function, unique monsters you farm. So you've got those. But then once and you can probably do it now because there's like like the Chatacabra. All of the monsters have a variant that has like a purple glow around them called Tempered.
okay,
So if you look at a monster on a map and it has a purple aura, which it's like literally a thick purple outline. It's not soft glow or anything. It's like that one's clearly purple, that one's not. Once you defeat that monster, what they used to do is drop a bunch of gems, and the gems were like soft upgrades to your armor. You have those now. I think they're called decorations.
yeah, I've been using a couple of them.
Some of them are really, really good. Like the way that they make, you have a 50% chance to just not take damage on a hit.
Oh,
It's
cool.
like, oh, that's fucking crazy.
A bunch of coin flips.
That's huge. Yeah. I have one that double buffs all my healing done. And with all the bubbles I put on the ground and stuff, that's a lot of healing. So
Yeah.
it matters, but that's what you used to get. Now they drop something called Ardean, which is that skin I showed you, Ardean stuff. They drop Ardean parts, and those parts you use to craft weapons. But they're like random roll weapons.
Interesting.
So you go, I'm going to take this part, and this part, and they're just random. You're like, oh, these don't. It's not like these 3 make the same thing. They have elements to them, and if you have 2 of one element and 1 of another, it'll be the element that has the majority, and you kind of can measure elements that way. But then you just random roll it. It'll give you a random, in my case, hunting horn that has random stats, and you're looking for certain stats as a typical min-max style end game kind of thing. So what are you doing? You're farming these monsters. You're taking their Ardean bits, and you're trying to roll them into a particular weapon that fits your play style, your build. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with just getting the horns that they have in the game because they're supposedly equal strength, but they're guaranteed stats.
gotcha.
For people who are like, I want this stat from this horn, this stat from this horn, and this stat to make the perfect horn. Sure, I don't care.
Yeah, like I guess when you make that perfect horn, what are you fighting with it? Just more of the same?
I mean, that's the question for anything, right? Once I think of another game that has a sort of end game farm, I suppose, a Diablo, whatever. If I have the perfect min-max build and I can kill anything in one shot, what am I doing?
Well,
Now what?
Well, I feel like other games like a WoW or something, Destiny or whatever, there's like a raid you're building for to be part of a team. Just do a raid that's still hard at that point.
Yeah.
And then there's a new raid that comes. Like I guess maybe there's a new monster that'll come out that's designed for that.
There's already a new monster, I think, coming out in April. So they're going to be pumping monsters out for sure.
But is that monster designed for the min-max end gamers or just here's a new monster to fight? You know what I'm saying?
Well, because it'll come out in varying difficulties, it'll probably be all.
Oh, okay.
It'll be both. Or I say all three because I think it's going to be 3 difficulties. But it's interesting because then you do the raid. You brought up Destiny. I can talk about Destiny.
Oh yeah, really? You play Destiny?
I don't actually. I dabbled.
I dabbled.
You do a Destiny raid. You get the Destiny raid weapons with probably, let's say you do it enough to do a particular role. You get raid armor, which no one really cares about much anymore. But if you do and you get the right rolls and whatever you want for it there, then what? Like, what you're doing it just to raid then, right? Like you're doing it just to perform the function of raiding. Then it's just you're doing this to just make the function of hunting easier when you're hunting with your friends, when you're taking them through it. When a new monster comes out, you're like, I have everything I want. Now maybe I'm going to use it to farm this monster so I can buy the horn because I have infinite inventory slots for horns. I just want to own one of every horn, like I suppose, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? So it's like, cool, then you can just complete that checklist, I suppose, and move on to the next weapon, maybe. Like that, I would say that's what a lot of people in the game like.
Just
are like,
go to the next, okay.
It's like the psychopaths. Like, I really loved Destiny. Probably still do a little bit. But I never played another class. There were people in our lives, people we know that were like, all right, I did my hunter for the week. Now I'm going to do my Titan. I'm like, nah, dog.
Yeah.
That's too much for me. Like, that's a step too far. I'm happy to try to make this like a completionist thing, but for one character. I can't do a second character. I can't do all of the roles, all of the styles of play, all of the classes, and in the case of Monster Hunter, all of the weapons. I just couldn't do it.
I think we should fix gaming real quick. I think there should be some sort of reward for something like that isn't just something you use going forward. It's almost like
for which part? We talked about a lot of successes there.
There's an end thing, like an end boss, raid.
You're telling me if I do all 23 horns, I should get something? Or it's that I found my perfect min-max?
So you've got your perfect min-max now, right? The next boss that comes out, the next monster you fight. It seems silly that you fight that monster and you got to be min-max to do it, or a raid or something, and all you do is get better things to fight with. I feel like it needs to be something else, because the better things to fight with, there should be nothing else you have to fight afterwards.
Right.
It's almost like the Thanos. Like I want to put the gauntlet away and look on like a
a farmland.
A farmland. I want to look on like a thankful universe or whatever. You know, like I want to be. There needs to be a reward that's a complete, not a here's another gun to go shoot things. It's like, well, I've already shot everything. Like I don't know what that reward is.
Well, I'll give you a couple things on it.
Okay.
Because Monster Hunter is not going to be the same, because this Monster Hunter is much easier and much more like, despite the menus, despite the bullshit that is the game.
Yeah.
It's not as punishing of a game, so it's more beginner friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think whatever next monster comes out, I think is going to be pretty mid tier.
Gotcha.
Like, it's not going to be any harder than anything you've fought up to now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll have to have some higher stats, but those stats at this point, it's just go hunt anything, and those things you hunt aren't hard. You just need to hunt them to then get you just do it 10 times to get the gem. Great, now you can go make a piece of gear that's 50% stronger.
Gotcha.
In terms of defense, so that it doesn't one-shot you. That's maybe going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be a difficulty thing. Destiny and raids and the things you're like, oh, this is what people min-max for. When a raid fully comes out, we'll say day 5.
Okay.
It's not hard. Now, raids are mechanically driven. They're difficult in that you have to shoot the thing, you got to do the timing, you have to pick up this weapon, you got to talk with friends, you got to like that kind of difficult. But it's not necessarily, I'm not putting out enough damage hard. If you're the light level it recommends, you're fine.
Oh.
The day a raid comes out, it has a different thing called contest mode. And contest mode is specifically harder. It's like there are modifications or skulls on essentially that are like, oh, you can't have this one type of revive, or the mechanic is actually different. You have to do it twice as much on this one because it's contest mode.
What's the reward for beating contest mode?
There's 3 total tiers of rewards.
Okay.
Beat it, well, I guess maybe 4, because you can beat it on contest mode later without it being technically called contest mode. It's just called like expert mode or whatever.
Right.
That just gets you better rewards, like better guns.
Okay.
That kind of shit. Or higher rarity at the very least. Maybe not better, but you know, another drop, an extra drop. So I don't really count that one. But within those first few days, anybody who beats it at all, you get a title, emblem, whatever, that is like you beat this on contest mode in the first few days. So you would have had to have min-maxed to get here, and you would have had to have grinded to get here because they time it so it's like 1 to 2 weeks after a new game or the new expansion or season comes out, right after they raise the power level typically. So you have to grind to get that power level, then do contest mode, which is the toughest shit. If you're the first to do it, you win a physical championship like WWE belt
Okay.
for that raid. But as a third tier, anybody who beats the raid, period, unlocks a discount code for the Bungie shop that takes, in most cases, a jacket that is completely and really thoughtfully designed from the raid. Like it is the raid on a jacket, essentially. Takes it down from $77,777 down to $100.
Gotcha.
So it's like you just can't buy it unless you have a discount code. You only get a one-time use on the discount code. So if you beat it, you get one code. You can buy the jacket. And then if you beat all the raids, they have a raid ring you can buy. And they have like shit that you can buy that's like physical on my body representation of I beat that raid. Oop.
Gotcha.
I beat that raid. So there's like, if you beat it day one, if you beat it literally the first in the world, if you beat it day one or day two, I think is like it's 24 hours, like starting from the first day. So it's kind of 2 days. And then if you just beat it at all. So there's still rewards in that. That isn't just guns.
Okay.
But if you beat it and you get the jacket and now you're a Sherpa, now you've got the thing and I love this raid and I'm great. You can do the expert mode just to raise the difficulty and have better loot. You can, whatever. They do have rewards for now having like, I can essentially queue, like, put random people with me. I'll guide them, is like a role you can fulfill. And you get shit for that, too.
Did you ever get a jacket? Did you ever order one?
No.
No?
No.
Would you ever want one?
No, they're just not my style.
Okay.
They're one of those things that I think they're really cool to look at, and I think it's a cool memorabilia overall. They had a lot of shit you can buy for doing the same thing. Once you beat the campaign, if you fulfill the season pass or you finish the season story, like at the end of all of these story beats, they had something. So
I think
once you earned a certain exotic weapon, which was at the end of a long story mission, you could buy the physical weapon. Obviously, it's not a fucking gun, but you know what I mean? It's like to scale.
Right.
So it was like, oh, that's cool. And it comes with a mount and a stand. You saw the Celestial Nighthawk helmet. That was like a physical helmet you could wear. That's that kind of shit that, God, I would love to own all that, dude. It wouldn't do me any good now. Don't put it on the Christmas list because I'd just have to Viking it later.
I think, because in my head, it's like
Destiny 3 comes around, dude.
The jacket, it's like, cool, discount code. It's still $100. I think it would be.
You still got to pay.
I think it would
the
be
one that I do
cool.
have is Moments of Triumph. You've probably seen the shirt. The one that I was wearing when the guy at GameStop called me Guardian.
Hello, Guardian.
Yeah. Have a good. See you out there, Guardian. I'm like, God damn. I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah,
it's got my name on it.
Yeah,
I got it customized to say Eisengeist.
So I think something more like that would be cool. But in my head, I'm like,
Send it to me.
Send it to me would be awesome. Now I could see that being tough. Make it just a little bit more manageable for people to buy. Give me a discount code to drop it to $10, $15, and make it like a wall banner, like a sports like championship banner.
Oh, yeah.
With your name.
Yeah,
and
for
raid.
Destiny 3, make it something that's like, well, so they have that too, actually.
Oh, do they?
And that is the same price. It's the same 77,000 bullshit, but it drops down to I think 25.
25. Okay,
But
that's closer.
it's probably about this to the camera. It's probably about this big.
Like a hockey puck.
But it comes in one of those felt like whatever.
Okay.
But it is a metal that is the shape of the accolade if you 100% the raid.
Okay.
And it is the physical accolade that represents it in the game, which is the same shape and same whatever and golden and like on your character. You can physically collect any accolade in the game. Which for me, the one that it's where you get the titles too. They're tied together. You get to know that I've equipped the accolade, I have a title. So mine is Curse Breaker, which is so fucking cool, dude. I love it so much. I've never changed it. I was like, I've earned other accolades. I don't give a shit. I earned it just to check the box, and Curse Breaker's dope. But I don't own the Dreaming City pin that it would have required, and I don't know if you can even buy it anymore. But
I think a banner would be cool because it's like you could just see it rolling out like. Doof.
Yeah,
like, don't you have something in League on the map? It rolls banners because you did something.
Yeah, because I the first ever week of Clash I won
because it's
a tournament.
That's in game,
which is actually I think I'm still like that's impressive because to be like League of Legends is one of the biggest games in the world.
Yeah,
the first week of Clash. Granted, it was people at my rank. It wasn't like I was fighting up.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
I didn't like overcome crazy odds.
Yeah.
But
You weren't.
But do this for the first. So because they now go away, they like rotate.
Yeah.
You have to like re-earn them. But it was they would tell you what team you're playing and give you a time. You're playing this team at 5 tomorrow. So it was a 2-day thing. And then they would give you their player reports. And they would give you full stat sheets on these guys and be like, these are their most played heroes, these are whatever, dude. We were in the fucking tank. We're like, who are we banning? Like, how do we ban this guy plays a problem hero all the time? And they would often ban Leona for me, who was playing all the time. So I was like practicing other characters to like lead up to it. It was awesome.
That's so cool.
And then we ended up playing against guys who were previously ranked platinum, which I was in silver, so it goes silver, gold, platinum. I was never really that great at League. I just had fun with it, and as a support, I wasn't too much of an effect on the map, but whatever. I got gold one season once, way later. But yeah, and then I have the banner in game. So something physical like that banner would be cool. But Destiny, particularly, Bungie has a thing with pins.
Okay.
Like Pride, BLM, anything like that happens, and you buy a pin, and the pin you can digitally represent it in the game. Like you physically get a pin, boom, you get it in the game. So they have a history of just pins. So to make this a like larger pin of sorts with its own case is, I like it. I think it'd be something that I would like pop it open and just like line them up.
Or like we did with
Destiny 3 comes out, I might do that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to happen, and who knows how they're going to buy it, and if they're even a better company. But at that point, I might just fucking swallow my morals and just play the game
make a vow.
anyway.
I'll make a vow for you. If Destiny 3 comes out, I'll be there with you.
And like I told you with Destiny 2, I'm happy to hear you say it. But like I told you with Destiny 2, I don't give a fuck. I'm playing no matter what.
I know.
Derek's like, oh, we got to get Monster Hunter. We got to. I'm like, if I don't, what are you going to do? Not play it? You know what I mean? Like, it's the same. What am I going to do?
But how long have I been saying if there was a Destiny 3, I would have jumped in? This isn't out of nowhere. It's been a long time.
Well,
so.
I know, but I'm jumping hard into Destiny 2 again, and Derek and Tim are like, oh, dude, me too. And I'm like, that's great. I'm happy to have the 3 for the dungeons and the stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Destiny 3 is going to happen, but maybe.
I doubt it. They're doing an extraction shooter next, which is not my type of game.
Which is that Marathon?
Marathon, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do extraction shooters. I mean, I'm going to...
What are you going to do?
Try
yeah,
it.
you're going to try
Well, I don't even know if I'll have to buy it. It might be free.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
It might be free to play. It might be maybe it'll end up being like a Tarkov where you got to buy in first. But
Yeah,
to compete with Tarkov, you kind of got to be free.
There hasn't been a lot of info on Marathon for years now,
Supposed
right?
to come out this year.
But you think they're hitting that window?
Well, it's tough. I mean, PlayStation often leads way ahead. And I say that not because Sony, PlayStation, they own Bungie,
Right.
And this was like their first joint project. Of course, they've affected Destiny, but they haven't they didn't create.
they
it.
affected Destiny. Go on.
I'd say positively overall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sony.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
not Bungie.
Yeah, okay.
No, Sony has affected. I mean, I don't know. I get into it, but with Marathon, we got that one bullshit trailer, but
That didn't even say like.
if it comes out, it didn't say extraction, it didn't say anything. It was just like style.
Yep.
It was CG style trailer from years ago. So I don't know. I mean, Bungie historically delays all of their expansions, but it's only about like 6 months, but like maximum. The most I've seen is 6 months. So I don't really know what that means for timing.
I just feel like if we don't hear anything about it by June, it's like, can we expect it this year?
If it, June, July, I don't know when's the Summer Game Fest? Is that going to do it? Because they don't do E3 anymore, obviously. So, what's the Paris Games is where they did a Last of Us gameplay reveal. So they don't always do directs, not Nintendo Direct. What is it, PlayStation? Is it a Sony Direct, a PlayStation Direct?
No. Is it? No. It's a
PlayStation Showcase?
showcase?
That doesn't sound right.
Oh, man. What is it called?
State of Play.
State of
I didn't-
Play.
I
I was
didn't
like,
get there.
oh
State of
my
Play.
God. Because it's
During the State of Play, that's something, the State of Play, would they tuck it in there? Because it is a Sony property, maybe, but it's going to be a terrible comparison. But Concord.
Wow, why you got to do that?
That was
to
one
them?
where they said, this exists, it's coming. But then they also go, for first gameplay, first trailer, first whatever, the game was out and then subsequently dead in like 3 months,
Yeah,
right?
that's fair.
Bungie's game, whatever. It can't. And if I say name 5 extraction shooters, I don't think I could.
5.
Yeah. But if they said name 5 hero shooters, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I could flex that a little bit different.
I think I could do 3 extraction shooters.
Yeah. What do you got?
Tarkov, obviously.
Yeah. I think Tarkov's the very obvious
I
one.
think isn't the whatever zone in the Division.
I also go to the
Extraction?
Division. Yep. That's my second choice.
Hunt Showdown
I never think of the Hunt Showdown.
is an extraction shooter.
Yep. I do know it to be true, but
Those are probably the 3 that come to my mind the fastest.
yeah, there is a Rainbow Six extraction shooter.
Is there?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
I think it's literally called like Rainbow Six Siege Extraction.
It's a siege attachment. Oh wow,
Rainbow Six. Okay, it's just called Rainbow Six
Extraction. Okay, because I know they have Siege X coming out.
Yeah, it's currently $10. It's sitting at 3 stars on Steam, 6 out of 10 rated on Steam as well, and it came out June 2023.
Okay,
So
it's still only 4 though. So
yeah, and then there's a new one, Exoborn. That's not fully out yet. I got the
Okay.
alpha test, whatever,
Gotcha.
but it's not fully out. I think of that one.
I thought for a second I was like Exoborn's not. I was thinking Exo Primal,
Primal.
and I was like
You're
that's
like,
not an extraction
really?
shooter, and that one's I don't know. We should say it, but okay.
No,
Exoborn.
So all the same, but with hero shooters, it's like a flooded market right now. If you were to say that there's too many people in extraction shooters, you're really saying there's too many people in Tarkov because no one's
Yeah.
playing the Division for extraction right now. That doesn't exist anymore.
No.
I would love a Division 3, but I don't think anyone's doing Division 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
This game is reviewed super shitty and is definitely not where it's at. And the Hunt Showdown, fine game,
Yeah.
but it's just not.
It's-
It's not the numbers. I would not argue it's being flooded
It's
in
a
any
very
capacity.
different extraction type shooter too. It's very like
Yeah.
themey over.
Very themey. Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, give me sci-fi shooter extraction game from the guys that made Destiny and Halo. Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine it's going to be fine enough, but it's just not how I want to play games. It's like if they made a fucking chess game, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it's
I mean,
chess.
if
I
they
guess,
did the
but-
round-based shooter. You're not a round-based. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's-
So it's like, okay, well, I like the gunplay, I like whatever, but it's not gonna. The things I like about Destiny aren't just because it's made by Bungie. It's not just
Right.
gunplay. It's like so many other things. So who knows? But if there is another, well, and before that, we're gonna get the new. There is a new Destiny. God, what's it called? Have you seen this before?
no.
Destiny Rising.
It's really called Destiny Rising.
Have you seen this?
What?
Pre-register now.
Wait, so it is just Destiny,
Well, it's called Destiny Rising.
but it's got the symbol. So it's like it's Destiny. It's not
Oh,
just.
yeah, no,
it's not
it's-
just named Destiny Rising like they just had the name. It's like
Oh,
it's Destiny.
This is Bungie
Right,
making
okay.
a game called Destiny Rising.
What is this?
Go ahead and read that top line there.
Okay. First mobile game in Destiny franchise. Okay, I see why I have not heard of it because
Yes.
I play a lot of games. I am not at all a mobile gamer.
Oh, it's actually NetEase.
NetEase is doing okay.
I'm trying to find. This is it. This is it playing on mobile.
This just looks like Destiny.
Yep.
So it's,
Now, granted, is it a new story? Is it a new? I couldn't tell you that much because I was out of the game when this was announced. I was out of the game when people were getting their sneak peeks. But this here is a full touch control, full whatever. But it's just Destiny.
now I look to you, Stokes.
Yep. And you say, is this real?
Well, no.
Oh.
You wiser than me.
Am I?
More in touch with things, especially Destiny and the gaming world as a whole.
Well,
I would
I was
say.
just say if not Destiny, you know.
I pose the question to you.
Yep.
Why do this?
Wow, that's a big question.
Now, obviously, I could see like they literally had dollar bills just flying on the screen we just had in front of us. I understand the money aspect, okay? But
I'm curious about the money aspect because the game's free. Now, of course, you've got season passes. You've got expansions, which I'm thinking way ahead here. Obviously,
Right.
It's not like this is going to drop and be like, well, it's going to have a season pass, but it's not.
Of course,
it's not,
yeah.
and it's going to have a shop with cosmetics and stuff. But I don't know how it's going to. But here you can see they're playing on a controller attached to their phone.
Yeah.
By the way, it's
of course. Why would you? That'd be
well,
so
dude,
insane.
The claw grip on
insane.
the phone, dude.
Oh, my
see-
God.
this is how much you'd see of your phone. You
Yeah.
know? Like as much as I see of you.
There's so many buttons and so many. And look at the HUD too. It's just,
literally with me right now, I have one that, and it's got PlayStation buttons
Yeah.
on it, and it's like a branded play. I've got the push through charger and stuff, so I could just sit there and play Destiny on my phone, which is cool. I mean,
it's also different though, right?
Did you happen to listen to the Kind of Funny episode with the analyst for the sort of health of gaming as like a market? It was a marketing
I have
analyst.
not.
He had a lot of really interesting things to say. That was just every time a console is turned on, 40% of those players are playing Fortnite.
Damn.
And that's just measured by console, of course, because PC is a very different space. Those things are always on mostly, but
Right.
There's those kinds of fun stats that are just insane. Maybe it was 40% are just playing a what do they call the games of service?
Gotcha.
Live service game.
I was gonna say, but also Fortnite's like eight different games.
But then it was measured in how much of that is Fortnite, and it was astronomical.
Yeah.
So that's why it's crazy to make a live service game because you have to beat Fortnite, and it's not going to happen. But all the same, one of the crazy stats. I don't remember the number, but it was how many people play on mobile. That is their only game device, but they are gamers and they measure themselves that way, and they play games on their phone. They include iPad in that.
Okay.
To be a little bit fair, but even then, my iPad plays the iPhone version of Magic Arena, so
Right.
it's like it's playing iPhone games. Plus, I don't have a controller hooked up to my fucking iPad. I
be
I would
cool,
rather
but
do
yeah.
it on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy to think like, okay, well, they want to reach more people, and I think it being mobile also is something that it can be put in all nations. It's made by NetEase. This game's coming to China. When you consider the market being, anyone with a phone. You have a phone, don't you?
Y'all have phones.
The classic, dude.
Yep.
So I think there's that, but why make a Destiny game when now they keep telling us the Light and Shadow saga wasn't the end of Destiny? I hope this isn't what they meant, but is this to be like,
What
hey,
up, Tron?
Is this to be like, hey, we have to like really start from scratch on what is essentially Destiny 3. We're going to do something way different, and they seem to have no foresight, and they're bought and traded by fucking 6 companies all the time. So they're like, okay, well, it's going to take us 2 years to make this instead of our normal 1-year cycle. Can you make us a version on mobile that's going to keep Destiny in the people's minds? It's going to keep money flowing for NetEase and PlayStation and the brand of Bungie, and then the next one comes out like this is just a weird like middle holdover. Maybe.
I think so. We've been around and doing stuff like this or just around each other for a long time now. And we've always been watching gaming news and gaming announcements and stuff. And I would say
There was a little period in there I was completely tapped out, but
well,
different gaming.
Yeah,
I'll
different
say
gaming.
I was very tapped into gaming.
Totally
Tabletop.
But I would say probably one of the most hype moments we've had together is watching the Smash
Bros.
announcement is insane. If say 2 years from now,
You should have watched me see the Last of Us trailer for the first time. Last of Us Part 2.
we were when did that happen?
DJ got me crying in a Best Buy. Oh, it was
okay.
2017,
It was
18.
Okay, so we were doing stuff, but we weren't.
No, we were.
Okay.
We were. It was because I knew you and we were doing the podcast before Ronnie ever showed up to the
Yeah.
thing, and it was Ronnie who was watching it live. Because I, as a good employee,
Didn't put out your phone.
I did not pull out my phone to
watch it,
watch it live and whatever. I was like, I'm gonna be a tentative person and
Yeah.
I'll just catch it later. But when he was like, dude, you got to watch this trailer, and he queued it up for me separately and whatever. I was like, all right, I'll watch it, And then I just start crying at a Best Buy. I was like, dude, this is not okay. Like, don't show me this on what I'll tell you, I watched the Last of Us trailer at home just in case. The TV show trailer last night. I watched it just in case. Nothing happened. I was fine.
I mean, I remember. Was it the? Halo 3. There's all the Halos, but
Was it 4 where his cloak
The
blows
cloak
off?
blows?
Yeah, that was a dope
Intense.
moment for a game I didn't play.
that one was amazing. The other one I always remember is Halo Reach because it was like at that point it was Halo 3 was done, and you're like, so what's next? and they have essentially the trailers. You just hear like all the reports. It's like, oh my god, we have people over here. People are dying. Blah 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 stuff. And the building starts getting like scorched of Reach, and then like it all gets scorched, and it's just like, Commander, you've got Spartans on the ground. It says Halo Reach, and it's just like it's giving me chills just saying it. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool.
Oh, dude, this is just gaming trailers now because it wasn't quite a moment for me, but the trailer that is the Master Chief collection, the seeds of our future are sown in his past, dude. It was like, it was, and the music swelling and whatever, dude. Huge. That was a huge moment.
But I'm just like, if we fast forward 2 years from now and we see a Destiny 3 thing drop, that's probably our next. I don't know what else could be announced for us together that could get us both hype.
Yeah, it'd be.
We'd be running around. It'd be so cool.
That would be cool. That'd be what's his name from Futurama, slapping money.
Shut
money.
up and take my money.
Or the guy that's like slapping the card, just not even looking.
Just give it.
Take it.
Oh,
it's $100. I'll give you the collector's edition Uber super special. I'll wait in lines.
Just put the box. It's like this big. Pull out the statues. The actual. I was gonna say Lancer. That's fucking Gears of War. Whatever the gun. Whatever gun would be.
Yeah, I was say they don't really have that kind of gun in the game. Like a Kvastov, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just the when you start the game, it's the first gun that you get. Like they're like, here, learn to shoot.
Oh yeah.
They brought that gun back later as an exotic.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was smart. That was pretty smart.
Yeah,
they did it in the final shape. I mean,
I think it would be.
It was a fucking bitch to get though. Holy shit.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, what game would you do a midnight release for if they did one?
Assassin's Creed Shadows. If we're thinking what's next, I would absolutely. It's 9 days away. I would absolutely go to a midnight. But also, what's a midnight release to me, dude? I'll do it. I was up till 3 a.m. last night because I couldn't sleep.
Okay. I was gonna say any Halo, any Remedy game, I would go. Not even like because in my head I'm like it probably was already pre-installed.
Sorry, you're not gonna get anything.
I know because they don't do physical.
Yeah.
But they do. They did later. They did later.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you at the midnight release 6 months after you got the platinum.
But anyway, it would already be. I would probably still have it digitally at home, already queued up, ready to play. But I would go there to talk to the people, to be around the hype of it. You know, where we're all there for the thing.
Or get the merch or something.
Exactly. It would be more about that now. But if they're like, hey, there is no online, it's only physical. You got to go to a midnight release. It's like
and if there was a way for me to physically like release whatever by a digital code, maybe. But obviously these don't exist. So free swag. Yeah.
Free swag.
Yeah, dude, being around some of those launches at midnight and then eventually running them.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, there weren't really any hype ones except for the Switch launch. Running the midnight release Switch launch, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We wheeled a pallet of Switches out. And I don't know, were you there for midnight? The line was out the door around the building.
I don't know if I was there for the
People were there
Switch.
playing their DSs and stuff in line. And because what do we got to do? We got to work the line. Hey, you guys need the Best Buy credit card.
Yeah.
Right. That's the kind of thing. But of course, I bring that up. And what are you playing?
Yeah.
I definitely dug 6 layers deeper than I needed to on every person there. And because at that point, I was also in the video game development thing at Michigan State, which was right next door. So many people I knew. The like 4th person in line was my TA. So I talked to him for however long about.
I think the other thing too with midnight releases is that they were great for a time, and then at the end of their life, it was very much like everyone's here, like just give me my game so I can go home and install it because I know I've got an hour and a half before this game's even playable. It wasn't the same as it was pre where you could just put in the disc and play.
I think I think it was Halo 5 was my last midnight game. Because I'm not going to count the ones I worked because that was not the same, and I worked ones I didn't give a fuck about. The Switch was probably the last one I bought at midnight, where I was like, oh, it's midnight for me too. We were allowed to buy ours like 30 minutes before and then tuck them away because they're like, where are you gonna go play it right now? Like you're here, you're working. So we would just check them out real quick and then wait for people. But Halo, I did Xbox One.
Yep.
Which I have so many great stories from that one night. Including my TV was broken when I got home.
Oh.
So I plugged it all in. I was like, my Xbox is fucked. No, it's my TV. Okay, well, what do I do? Where I would just get a TV.
Where does the Xbox go?
Turns out I had to reset the truck. I had to learn what that meant.
On a TV?
On a TV.
Interesting.
Thanks, Sony. But then it was 3 after that. It was the Assassin's Creed set in France that was buggy as hell and everyone hated. Assassin's Creed Unity, I think.
I think so.
And I also got the book. They got me with the the special edition of the book, and then Master Chief Collection, and then Halo 5. And Halo 5, went home, did the huge install, woke up the next day, went for co-op. Now I'm a PlayStation boy. Thanks, Halo.
The Halo 5's so good though.
Yeah, I had a blast playing it.
Dude.
Well, it's like literally in the first moments when you're sliding down the hill that I was like, God, the Xbox One is so powerful. Dude, is what I kept saying. I was like, God damn.
It's so good.
Which is generations ago now.
Yeah, it's
It's actually only one generation, but still.
It feels generation because they had the 1, 1S, 1X, Series
X.
Series X. It's like it feels like so far along. But yeah, man,
So what was your last one?
it had to be Halo 5 was probably my last one. And it's one of those things where it's like, did I even get Halo 5 at midnight, or did I pre-install it, play it at midnight digitally,
Go pick it up
and
the
then
next
go pick
day.
it up the next day? So I have, because I had like 4
You
copies of Halo 5.
You remember at Apple Miles?
Yeah.
Long hair, Witcher
With the
swords.
tattoos?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Witcher
Halo,
swords.
yeah.
He did. He had Halo 2 on his phone.
Yeah.
He was managing the GameStop I went to for Halo 5. But I was like, second in line because I was so excited. Who'd have thought? And I chatted with Miles all night. And when I got the job at Apple, he's like, "Hey, I was there. We did Halo together."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit! How could I? I mean, the long hair. How can you forget that guy?"
And the tattoos, it very
Well, for me, it was just fucking.
Oh yeah,
it was his
very
nonchalant. Yeah, his
Dude,
is so chill. Too chill.
Did he train you at all at Apple?
No.
Because he helped, because he was a Genius Bar when I was there.
Completely different section of the company.
But he helped me a lot, and every time I had an issue, I came up to talk to him. Just the most chill. No matter what was happening, no matter how upset the person
He'd be
was
like, dude,
across
this
from
customer
him.
pulled a gun on me. He'd be like, "Oh, dude, that's crazy."
You're
gonna wanna escalate that.
Exactly. It was crazy how chill he was, no matter what was happening. And I went, dude, nothing phases you. It's crazy.
The sales floor was not as chill.
Yeah,
I did not have as nearly as much. I mean, granted, it was all madness back there, but there has to be a layer of calm amongst a bunch of freaks.
Yeah.
But for us, it was more like you need to sell them on 30 different things.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you need to talk their fucking ears off until they bleed, and then they go, "Okay, I'll buy."
Yep.
And there's people like hovering, watching you.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of.
Did you talk about Apple Care?
Yeah. Apple's great to work for, but yeah, there was some weird stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I mean, it wouldn't make sense. It's impossible considering where we're at and everything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would work there again.
Yeah, it was a great place to work.
I would work at Best Buy circa 2010 as well.
Oh yeah, if you go back in time for
Best Buy now? No. I'm good.
What do I do on my Thursday mornings with new release? there's nowhere to put
There's
anything.
nothing. Yeah.
It's
Well,
crazy.
and all the tags auto upload.
Right?
So you're like, okay, well. I think about all the jobs I did, and it's just like, I
Oh,
guess
they
I
don't
just
exist
moved for
anymore.
refrigerators.
Yeah.
You know? And I guess I work in the sales floor of 4 different departments.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I
there's
guess
like 6 people in the whole store.
Yeah, I guess there's still planograms. There's still things to reset. So I would still be doing that, but it would be a lot less.
Last planet, when I walked in, they were resetting a planogram. It was one of those like overnight black shirt dudes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he wasn't overnight because I wasn't there
Right.
overnight, but it was just somebody else that I was like, oh, you're not from here.
Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe I wouldn't. My job probably just doesn't exist
Back to
anymore.
Apple.
Back to Apple. Genius Bar still exists, as far as I'm aware.
Fuck, that'll never die.
Yeah.
Support for tech in person, that might die.
Yeah. I mean, doing it
So
over
anyway,
the phone was not.
that's what I played.
That's either. Okay, good.
That's all Monster Hunter.
Monster
for you.
Hunter.
That's Monster Hunter for you.
So now that we're an hour in, let's dive in.
Now that we're not, no, I gotta talk about what I watched.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What did you
We're
watch?
not ready to dive in yet, dude.
No, not yet. What's up? Did your laptop not time change?
My no. What's weird? My laptop says it's 12:22.
That's not even close.
That's not close.
Well, I mean, it's
40 minutes.
Huh.
How do you get 40 minutes?
What's your time zone?
There's no time zone that's 12:22 right now.
I don't know. It's a Mac. Whoa, Tron.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's crazy.
You know what? I don't know how to fix this, but let's learn together.
Let's learn together. No, it's telling me, dude, right there in New York. New York, it's 22.
It's weird because you're on the internet too. It's like you're connected.
There I am.
That's weird.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, what'd you watch?
I was like, we're not 20 minutes in. The longest 20 minutes of my life.
That would be a long 20
What
minutes.
did I watch? I started with 2017's Best Picture winner, the Death Note live action adaptation.
Okay. That's a weird. Okay.
It did not win Best Picture. The movie was dog shit. It did not get my heart.
Oh, no.
I had a lot of fun, though.
Okay, good.
But I was like, I had a lot of fun once.
Is that?
And Shay watched all of Death Note.
Death
So
Note.
I was like, who's she? Who's this? What's he do?
Is Willem Dafoe the demon? Okay.
Yeah. The Shinigami. Ryuk. Nat Wolf is in there.
Trying to fix it, but I have work with Macs for a couple years. Oh, just common issue on Mac. There's a button to fix it. We had the same issue with the PC over there, though, I thought.
With like a Windows PC. Yeah.
That might have been an internet thing, though.
Yeah, it was not. It was not for me.
Okay.
It was
makes
really
sense.
interesting because it was over the top, stylized in its shooting, but not so much in the like storytelling. It was pretty. I don't know, maybe because I watched a decent amount of the anime to just know how it works. But Lakeith Stanfield plays L, the one who's like the main detective. He was really great. He was great
That's
to
fair.
watch.
That's
it. I was most surprised though because at the end it said it was produced by Roy Lee, who's doing like he just recently did Late Night with the Devil. He did Barbarian. He does like big horror movies now, and he was doing them then. So it was only 8 years ago, so it wasn't too long. And then it was directed by Adam Wingard, who's doing the Kong movies.
Yeah.
Got King Kong vs. Godzilla. What's the new one called? New Empire. He did that like, and he's doing a movie for A24 now. He did You're Next. I think he did some of the VHS movies, like the shorts.
Yeah.
He's actually, I think, the character that has the eye that lets him see ghosts because it's like a robo eye.
Oh, okay.
If you remember that one,
I didn't see that one, but I know
it's
of
from
it.
I think it's the first VHS.
Oh, VHS. I don't
The
know why I was
movie
thinking
VHS.
Black Mirror. See ghosts with the
Well,
robo eye?
Black Mirror, yeah, it's the one where they got the eyes and they can scroll through their like memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the first VHS. And what up, Stoney? Yeah, he gets an eye replacement after like an accident, and it's a camera, and it lets him see ghosts. And when they realize that he can see them, they kill him.
Man, I really don't
That's
remember
like
that.
the whole plot.
I'm running through all the different VHS things in my head, and I don't remember that one.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh,
But,
yeah, I remember that.
But anyway,
yeah.
so it's
Okay.
like, it's a director I like, produced by someone I like. I didn't know the writer, and I didn't look up the writer or anything because I didn't really care to.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't believe this movie didn't work. Like, it must have just been that bad a script. Like, I didn't really, I didn't analyze the movie like that. And I was like, he threw a lot of canters in there, and he threw a lot of shit that I'm like, whatever. Did they make him do this because it's a Netflix project, because it's such a high, like a value property? Maybe. And now he was for King Kong. I imagine he was enough of a yes man to do those things so he can make whatever he wanted otherwise.
I think for anime adaptations, because I don't really know. I'm going through all in my head. I don't think we've gotten a good one.
Did you watch Parasite?
Besides,
Not Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, of course, the TV show.
no.
I've heard good things.
Besides, like the One Piece and like live action, which I think is fun.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard because it's like
you're looking
One Piece
forward.
is
Like,
so
how's it going
goofy.
to happen?
Yeah, well, it's just One Piece is so goofy. To do it well is to be goofy. Like, you look at that, it's just quirky and weird and goofy.
He was
it
goofy.
makes sense.
The Luffy.
I mean, yeah,
was
but
goofy.
the snail phones, like everything in there is like, you look at that and go, that's fucking ridiculous. But it's like, I mean, that's what it is. And One Piece is just goofy. It's just weird. It's the way he wins or the way like problems get solved are just sometimes dumb. So it works to be kind of a dumb show in certain. There's still the heavy moments and the ports that hit and things like that are done really well. But like, it is still a goofy kind of thing. And even then, could it have been done better? I think so. I think it's the best we're ever going to get, and I'm excited for more of it. I really loved it. I think when it comes to live action anime, there's just too many hands in that cookie jar, no matter who is directing or writing. There's the studio that's making the live action. There's the studio that made the anime. There's the manga off. There's too many hands to get something cohesive at the end, I think.
Yeah.
And you're going to need either like the person that makes it to grab one person and be like, we're going to make it on their own dime almost or something. Like, they're going to have to do something their own way.
Yeah, maybe.
To make it happen.
I mean, that's how a lot of adaptations go, right? So
yeah. I think it's just hard.
there's too many cooks.
Yep.
And a lot of things are also like, how do you put that onto a camera? How do you make that look even halfway decent on something that's just not all CG.
Oh yeah, and future One Piece stuff. I'm like, yeah, you guys are cooked. There's no way.
You cooked.
It's
Yeah, just skip
impossible.
it. Just skip it.
It's like you can't skip it, but fuck, you got like it would have to be like you have to interpret these scenes and do them in a real way because the way it's done in the anime is not real. It's like this makes no sense.
Sure.
So,
Well, anyway.
But anyway,
So that was Death Note. We watched it because we were both like, let's just put on something. Like we're happy to have a movie night. We don't do it all the time, so throw something on. And we were just scrolling through, and I was like, okay, you watched enough of the show. I think she was like 3 episodes away, but if you've heard from any of the people that we've talked about, they're like, there's a point in the show where a certain character dies, another one's introduced, that it's like, why you should have just ended it
Should
there,
have been done.
just like the movie The Batman. You should have just ended it with Falcone, but all the same. Movie's too long.
sure.
But
you decided to watch.
we started to watch it anyway, yeah. So it was like, the movie's not going to go that far. So, yeah. Next movie I watched, I went to the theater. I watched Mickey 17. Bong Joon-ho, Robert Pattinson. Got my heart. Lead out with that.
Good job.
I think it was weaker than any of the other stuff of his I've seen.
Okay.
I think only because it was just a comedy.
Yeah, you know.
Now, it wasn't, I won't say just a comedy because, of course, there's serious tones in there. There's themes and messages and things to learn or whatever. But it was a lot of just poking fun. Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, they do a great job as like the shitty leaders of the expedition.
Yeah.
They're always fun to watch. Mark Ruffalo in particular is doing, without doing a direct impersonation, is doing a Trump the whole movie.
Got it.
And it was like, okay. Which at the end, once the movie's over, I was like, hey, just if you guys weren't aware of the context, Parasite wins Best Picture, Trump's in office, Trump shits on Bong Joon-ho and is like, we should have given it to an American movie and whatever. So I imagine there was some like lash out or some strong feelings there from someone who's not in our country and maybe has just worries of like international relations or something. So
We all have worries, but yeah.
of course, yes. But all the same, it's got that impersonation in it, but Robert Pattinson, fucking hilarious.
Awesome.
He does so great in this movie, and because there's 2 of him that's in the trailer. They make a double.
Yeah.
One of the things is that doubles have like slight personality variations, or not doubles, but just So
Yeah.
the 17th is different from the 16th, from the 15th. But
Yeah.
17 and 18 are different enough that it's like they end up doing something to physically represent them so you can just see. But you don't need it.
You can tell.
See it on Rob's face, who's who, and he does really great with it.
Well done.
It also felt like it could have been in the same world as Snowpiercer, like the tech, I don't want to say steampunk, but the like, here's tech that's gotten us to space, but it's barely put together because you're going to be the poor people living there.
Yeah.
We're going to live up in this nice space, like the kind of train front to back. It had that feeling
Okay.
a lot. So it was like, I love seeing the inspiration, but Bong Joon-ho having I guess we'll say an international sense of humor. It just didn't mesh with my sense of humor as much. But overall, the movie was it was well made. It was well acted. I think outside of the jokes that didn't mesh with me, it was well written. Like,
Okay.
I think it worked.
Good. I almost went to the theater on Sunday. Then Bethany wasn't feeling well, so we scratched the idea. Then I came in here with CGB and stuff. But I almost made it to the theaters, but I didn't. We didn't.
You know what Shay suggested we watch instead of Death Note? Well, not instead. We were flipping through and we saw it. Sonic 3. And I said 2 things on that, Shay. 1, great fucking idea.
It's so good.
2, we got to watch the second one first.
That's true.
And I guess 3rd, we don't have Paramount.
Oh,
So I was like, no, not doing it.
Tron Sonic 3 was the movie of the year last year.
So I chose Death Note instead
I
of
can't
Sonic
believe
3.
it didn't win Best Picture. It's the best. It's so good.
Well, again, I told you, it's next
That's
Oscars.
next year.
It's
Next year,
Oscars.
Sonic 3 Best Picture. Get in your head. It's going to happen.
Get in your head, anime, without being an actual adaptation.
God. It's the closest we'll probably ever get to a live action Dragon Ball Z movie.
I think so.
It's so
Sure.
good.
I don't know.
It's so good. Go on.
So we watched Mickey 17 at noon.
Okay.
It was our chore day.
Oh, yeah.
So we did all of our chores after that, which we had done our grocery shopping the night before, so we could go to the movie and still have our, everything mix and match.
Yep.
Later that night, we were going through and we watched A Real Pain, the Jesse Eisenberg movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got my heart.
Good.
It was as good as I expected it to be, where I was like, great. It's just a drama. It's just a drama about these two. They're cousins. I thought they were brothers originally, but it's just a drama about these two cousins. They're going on a trip, and of course, the greater themes of the trip they're going on, which is to visit their homeland of Poland because their grandma recently died. So they're going to see her house and going to like get a tour, like break that theme, that overarching theme down, and it's the problem going on between these cousins and everything. And it just kind of played out how I thought it would, but it was still great to watch.
Good.
And I can't say I really learned anything in particular, but I was like, I know someone like this, and it's great to hear someone else's thoughts on it vocalized. Like it fits.
Okay.
So it was I won't say it was like a joy to watch because it's not cheery, happy. And it's not like it ends with everyone's problems are fixed and it's all sunshine and rainbows and whatever. It's like you get like a goodbye in an airport kind of thing. And it was like, oh,
Okay.
like, I guess the movies don't fix all my problems because my problems are still here. The pain is real.
Yeah.
Real pain. But I would recommend it to anyone who's been curious to watch it. It's absolutely worth a watch.
I definitely want to.
Yeah, I don't think, because you have a love for Jesse Eisenberg and he wrote and directed this, and you can hear it in the way he delivers everything and the writing of it, and it's like the character he wrote for himself. I truly believe that he wrote himself.
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't have to act in this. You just had to say the same thing 3 times in the front of the camera. Like that's
To
it.
make sure it was,
Yeah. And after seeing the Oscar speech and seeing him in a couple other roles, it's also Culkin's, like, he accidentally cast Culkin as himself. And I was like, fuck me, that's crazy. Like, you did so great. After hearing their story about how they met and how they got together and how they had never talked or whatever before,
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't have to. And I bet you two have the same problems these characters do, and it fucking worked perfect. So
Awesome.
They deserve a lot of laurels for that. But I don't think that there's enough for someone who's not interested in the movie off the rip that they're going to enjoy it. So I think it would be one that, unless Bethany's like, oh, Jesse Eisenberg, I'd love to, I don't think it's necessary.
Just watch it.
Just watch it by
Gotcha.
yourself. Otherwise, I doubt you'll never, if you read the synopsis, you'll never be like, this is what I'm in the mood for.
Gotcha.
Shay and I were barely that way. We're just like almost checklisty of like, we want to see this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hit play. We're never going to be in the mood to watch this movie. So
Yeah. I probably will watch them all, mostly just because right now it's like we have, I think, like 80 episodes left of One Piece before April. And then we're caught up. Plus, I wanted to go back and watch the movies. So it's like, we got to start chucking.
And then finally,
Yep.
I finished Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam,
Woo!
which, as I was telling you yesterday, it ended in what someone online I heard describe, because I was like, I want to watch a couple like essays on this. Like, it was 50 episodes. I watched it pretty fast. Some of it was while I was building a Gundam, so I would hear something and, oh, wow.
Look back down,
Yeah, look back down. And the thing I was doing was kind of, menial, so it wasn't like it was taking my thoughts away. I was still invested in the show, but I wasn't as much as I normally am. So let me watch the whole thing. Somebody said the ending was bittersweet, but mostly just bitter. And I was like, yeah, it really was. Whereas the original, because this is a direct sequel to the original, both in like chronological timeline, but also like the release window, the actual in IRL chronological timeline. So it feels older, it feels whatever. But the original Gundam, as much as it still had the turmoil and whatever, it was about like just these 6 people. The real bad stuff kind of already happened, and now it's just like, how do we, as a ship crew, fix this? And what do? They fix a war.
Whoa!
Now they're just, they're kind of a cog in the machine, but also it's like, because of the Gundam, and there is only one Gundam, it like, they just can't lose, and that they're like, go do this impossible mission. They don't lose. Right, and you're like, okay, so you do change the tide of the war, but it takes the fucking army, otherwise you would have lost. This one was a little bit more forgiving in the aspect of like, you're gonna fuck up, but you're not gonna die because there's more Gundams now.
Gotcha.
Like, it is the Zeta Gundam, and right at the beginning of the show, he's Camille, our main character, is with the Earth Federation, who's the people who have the original Gundam, the one that Amuro fights with in the first one. It's the whole people you're with. They're the quote unquote good guys, and then you've got the anti-Earth Union group, the AUG. And they switch functions, essentially. Like, Camille literally defects to one. Some people here defect to the other, and they become like the good guys are now the bad guys. The bad guys are now the good guys.
Is that because of like who you're following as a character, or because of what they're fighting for now?
Well, the movie we're going to go see is going to be really interesting because because it's very much the main bad guy, Char Aznable, the guy with the mask and the helmet and the red. You know him from the card game. Yep. He's a fucking great card. Makes a Zaku 2 or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
He makes a token. He can pilot the token and stuff like that. And then he's got the
we really should just have some of the cards here. We always every show we reference these cards.
Well, they're on cool stuff now. I actually think I'm just gonna order one of everything for like binder.
Nice.
Just so I'm like, I have my play sets of stuff. Minus a couple. So I'll pick up to finish my play sets, then buy one of everything. These are like $3 a card.
I was gonna say, we talked about obviously touch the card stuff. Is every card have a foil? Or is it only certain ones?
Only rares.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Only rares. In the future, I think every card will have a foil.
It's just the beta kit.
I don't know that for sure.
Oh, okay.
I should look at it because One Piece will probably tell me. You know,
That's true.
It's going to follow the formula. It's like the samey kind
then
of thing.
One Piece, not every card has a foil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then it's going to be the same thing. Here.
Okay. It's only, I think
it's rare or higher.
I think a card is non-foil or a card is foil. There's not like a non-foil and foil version of anything.
Yeah. So it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Every rare is now foil. So there's a foil in every pack.
There's just
of
not a
Pokemon
reverse foil of base common cards and stuff. Yeah.
But anyhow, Char Aznable, he is now on the Ayug, who is the quote unquote good guy of this show. It's who Camille joins. And he's like the de facto leader of this spot. But he was the defected red comet of Zeon, the feared bad guy. He was the yang to our Amuro's yin, you know, like, oh, look we're fighting against each other. His morals, so it's really interesting because the morals of him, they change in the first show. Like, he doesn't switch sides, but he's always doing sneaky shit.
Okay.
And then he very loudly comes out and is like, I've never really been with these guys. I'm with these guys because they're the closest thing to my morals and they're going to help me achieve this. And this is the thing I'm about. It's very loudly like, here's what I really believe in, you know, that kind of thing. Now with the 6 movies before, you see that. You see why he's thinking about this. So I kind of knew his actual intention the whole time. And in this one, same thing. His morals have not changed. He is very much the same thing. But when you hear it in the context of what they're trying to do, you're like, it isn't bad.
Got it.
It's not really. And now, and knowing what's coming in Char's Counterattack, which is the movie we're going to go see, it's named after him after all. I'm like, he still has the same goal. Like, he still wants to do the same thing, but now he's like so pressed for how hard it's becoming, he's going to fucking terrorize people to do it.
I'll
kill every man, woman, and child to achieve peace.
Peace, yes, that peacekeeper.
That's not what he's about,
right.
as far as I understand. But all the same, and then I keep saying morals, but I guess the overall goals of the Earth Federation have just been dialed up so much that they've already hit we'll do fucking anything to achieve this.
Got it.
Fuck space.
Whoa.
Is essentially what they say.
Fuck space.
And then space.
Okay.
And they take giant phallic lasers and they start shooting off colonies, dude.
Okay.
Blasting holes. Not ideal.
Not the best.
This one was interesting because, again, the big bad thing happens before the first show.
Okay.
So we don't see it. We see it in the intro credits because they've got to tell us.
Yeah, they got
the
it.
year is 0079.
Ba-da-ba-da.
Here's what happened, whatever. We're back in the show. This one, all the bad shit happens in the show.
Gotcha.
So it's like, oh, fuck, I get to see it again now. I already did see the bad shit before the first show because that's what the 6 movies are about.
Right.
So, like, I was already used to it. But that was kind of my shot going into the original Gundam was like, characters are dying. And I'm seeing individuals dying. That's not fun. But it's different than seeing, like, hundreds of mothers and children dying in a colony. Like, when really I know there's I think 40 million people max in a colony, and they just nuke one of those colonies. I'm like, oh my God, that's so much death. So this one was strangely darker in the scale of things.
Okay.
That I was like, oh, this has a lot of serious complications. But 8th MS Team or War in the Pocket is really dark at the scale of there's 3 people involved.
Gotcha.
And it was like, homie's hamburger. You know, that's where I was like, and the kids 1,000-yard stare against the tree because he just realized kind of what he's done. That is the darkness I prefer versus the, hey, 40 billion people. I'll extend it to billion. It's millions, but whatever. They're the same number in my head because I can't quantify it. You know,
right.
Sure. And also, I didn't know these people.
Yeah.
You know, they start doing stuff later when they kill a colony. They'll give you a love story between two people in the colony, then they'll kill them. So they make it both at the same time.
okay.
And then I'm like, okay, that works for me. The interesting thing about this now is Zeta Gundam.
Yep.
I've got Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta.
Double Zeta, dude.
That's the next one.
Uh-huh.
I hit play
Okay.
because I'm like, all right. It took me a while to get through this last one because we were busy on the weekend, whatever.
Yep.
It was last night. I couldn't sleep. I was like, fuck it. I'm in a good headspace to just watch the first, because I know the first episode is a prelude
Okay.
to kind of warm people up. And I was like, give me the recap. I'll watch. Only subbed.
Oh, no.
Turns out, dub doesn't exist.
Shit.
Even though the show was made in the mid 80s, because it was received so poorly post Zeta, it never made it west. It didn't make it west until 2014.
Whoa.
And I was like, yo, 10 years ago? Like it was 10 years ago that this thing from the 80s. And
But the movie takes place after this and is dubbed?
yeah. The movie is like everywhere. I can buy a Blu-ray for it, I'm sure. Like it seems seemingly that available. I can buy it on Apple TV.
But to
I
watch
can
it, you
stream
have
it
to
on
watch
two
the
different
show?
platforms. So that's the thing. I go and I'm like, okay, this is sub only. Let me go to the guy I watched that originally told me, here's the timeline and how you should watch it. Skip this because it was made with like PlayStation 2 3D animation. And it also, so far, has not had an effect on this entire timeline. If it does, it'll be so far later, and I don't think it'll matter.
Okay.
Watch these ones. These are the best. Here's how you get this. Download only, those kinds of things.
Yep.
So I had that. So I went back and he's the one who told me, he's like, there's technically about half the show dubbed in English from a Southeast Asian company that did English. So that's not their language. So it's not good English.
Right.
And it's so hard to find that first half that it's essentially lost media. He's like, he said, I couldn't find complete episodes. That's how
crazy.
difficult it was. And I was like, okay, so I'm never hearing this in English because I don't think it'll ever be made. Because then he goes, and also this show sucks. He was like, Zeta Gundam, what did it do right? Camille, he had to grow on you, but you had 50 episodes and he became so much better. And his ending, again, not good,
Right.
is like so fucked because you then care about him. It's darker. It has such big consequences. And he was like, this show takes all of that and it's just fucking whiplash. He was like, this show was made to sell robot toys.
Ah.
And that's where it's unfortunate because then he goes, that's for the first 25 episodes.
Okay.
The last 25 are dope.
Oh, shit.
And I go, no, I'm not watching it. I just won't do it. The characters he talks about and the things, they're like ragtag group of teenagers, of course, because everyone's a fucking teenager in space.
Everybody.
The whole thing's about kids in war. I mean, that's kind
Yeah.
of the theme. So I understand that it's always going to be kids in these Gundams or youths.
Yep.
But it's kids that sometimes go to school. The first 10 episodes just take place on like a colony about them. It's unrelated to the ship or the war or Gundams or anything.
Okay.
And they're like scrapper kids and they stumble upon the Gundam, but what happens? They end up becoming pilots and it all feels like bullshit is what because I went and watched more reviews.
Right.
I was like, okay, that's this guy's opinion. Nobody disagrees with him.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So much so that I was like, well, that's why it's not in English. Because it was so shit. And that's enough for me. I'm like, all right. I've watched everything in English up until now, and it's really helped me because I can be. And I was like, I can't put my eyes to 50 episodes this week,
Right.
And if I'm going to blitz through it and I'm going to hate the first 25, I was like, maybe I can skip through. But then, turns out, every character I know. Again, this is supposed to be like essentially the third TV show, right?
Right.
In the row of things, every character I've seen before that at least is alive, I guess, that made it to the second show, they're just not in this one. They're not dead. But they're just not here. And I was like, how can this war be consequential if the people that are like head of this war aren't in it? Like, I just can't. And then knowing Char's counterattack is Char versus Amuro. Amuro being the first pilot. Amuro now being, at this point, I think, 10 years older. So he's mid-20s, which is a man.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I'm like, sure. But him being the main character of this movie, barely being in the second one, enough that it was essentially a cameo with like a short arc of like breaking free and becoming his own person again, away from the evil Earth Federation now. The third one is just he's not in there. I went through the voice cast on IMDb. I went through everything. I was like, dude, they're just not in here. Some of the main characters, I was like, this must be wrong. It says 1 episode. Like they're just like, must be talked about, or it must be a flashback.
Yeah.
I'm convinced it's the prelude episode that they're crediting these people with because it's their voices and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, no one says they're in here. So for all of those reasons, I'm just gonna watch a like deep dive retrospective on it and call it good. I just can't do it. You know what? Even the intro credits, I was like, I hate this song. Like this really isn't working for me. It starts off with like, it just sings the words over and over again. A real anime, a real anime, a real anime, a real anime. I was like, what? Is this real? Like, is this what it's saying? Like, you're telling me so much, I'm starting to believe it's not true.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was just enough of it was I'm a real boy, says Tron.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I swear, this is real.
It's enough different.
We're not trying to sell you toys. This is a real anime.
This is a real anime. Yeah. And it sucks because it's made by the same guy that does the first. He created Gundam. He did Gundam Zeta. But apparently in his own personal sort of retrospectives, he talks about it. He's like, that was like a force.
Interesting.
They needed 50 episodes. I had a good 25. I put that at the end. Like I had to fill the others. I was like, dog.
Wow. Not even
That
like
sucks.
a good episode filler, good episode. It was like the end.
When you hear, 25 episodes of filler, to your trained anime brain, you're like, wow, a shorter arc.
Yeah.
And I go, not a fucking shot. There's a 2-episode arc in the first 25 episodes where they go to a colony where it's being run by a cult that's like anti-technology, and they're wearing a bunch of cloaks and masks and like old like paladin looking gear, like they're like crusaders, and they all use melee weapons and stuff to fight, but they're the only ones living on this colony. And earlier in the shows, a colony gets like its mirror bumped and it fucks the whole colony because it can't produce enough light energy, and it like fucks all the vegetation. And I was like, these guys aren't using tech. How the fuck how's this colony function?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's so much that I'm like, the delicacy of space is like ruined by like these weird two-some episodes and characters gone and ragtag teenagers. And another way they put it was like Camille, our main character, Amuro, our main character, as they're learning and growing up, you have the leaders of them literally just fucking bitch slapping them or whatever and being like, you got to stop being a kid. You got to go out there. You got to kill all these people. You got to doing that kind of shit. And then they're like, as soon as they stray, they're literally like, they're punished. They're court-martialed. They're thrown off the team. They steal a Gundam. They whatever. Apparently, these kids do all of that shit in the first 25 episodes, which is like no repercussions. So the show feels funny with like no weight to it, with characters that don't matter, meeting colonies in space that have no consequence and can't functionally work in this world, all before you get to a war that is like supposedly supposed to have ended. Char Aznavour, our main guy who's in Char's counterattack, the thing we're heading towards, he's the leader of the AU. He gets up in front of space, just like one of the zombies does. But there's the card, Rally the People, of him doing the
Yeah.
That's like the famous speech that starts the war.
Okay.
In a way. They do the thing and they go, this is why we did it, and everyone's for him. It's like, yay, it's him doing his Hitler at the podium, you know?
Yeah.
And Char does something samey, but at this point, you're also like, I kind of agree with you, though. Like, oh, shit, I kind of agree with what you're saying. I'm not going to agree with your methods later, but I agree with your methodology here that space is good. Space is fine. You can go to space and be an okay person. But he has that moment towards the end of the thing. He becomes the leader because the other de facto leader is dead. He's the one who's in charge of everything. They end the war before Double Zeta, of course. And he's not in the next show. And I'm like, dog.
Wow.
Who's here? What's going on? So apparently I would learn. I don't care to. I'm just going to watch a retrospective.
It does feel a little bit like, hey, we need this. And they're like, well, I don't have it. We need it.
Good news is I looked into Mobile Suit Gundam build fighters.
Okay.
It is kids who build Gundams, and they put them on a little stand, and it builds a little digital world, and they pilot those Gundams against each other like a Pokemon.
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, fuck yes, these kids carrying around little Gunplas. So I'll be watching that.
Okay.
I still got Wing and Seed and all these other things. Char's counterattack this week, the retrospective. But I was like, if I want something light and funny, I want kids doing Pokemon battles, but with Gunpla. Using the words Gunpla, using licensed tools, using model kits I could buy. Like, that's fun.
Okay. Very cool. Now, you kept bringing up when you were talking about your like space. Space is okay. Space is space.
Let me tell you about new types.
Okay, go on.
The idea and the words they use is that gravity is weighing your soul down. What
Okay.
they say, because you're like, is that bitch telekinetic? That's what you kept asking me about. I was like, kinda. Because the idea, they really talk about the soul a lot, is that literally gravity is holding them down.
Oh.
They leave Earth in fucking 0030, whatever. 44 million people go up into a colony. And in the colonies of space over those 40 years, because the generations have not had literal gravity on their souls. I mean, everything's affected by gravity in some capacity.
Right.
But the spinning cylinder is a fake gravity that's
Yeah.
really just centripetal force, not the weight of literal gravity. Then we start seeing in the 1 Year War, 0079, we see Amuro, we see Char, Lala. They are new types in that they have like soft telekinetic powers.
Because their soul isn't being pulled down by gravity as much.
It's sort of like, you know, we
Interesting.
could talk about the magic that is a Gundam spacesuit. You know, like that's as much as one could physically build one, you couldn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because but they explain that away with the science of there's a certain type of fuel that can be loaded into this that doesn't weigh it down, but it's almost limitless.
Okay.
It's not a fuel that is like
It's the
intergalactic
unobtainium.
space travel. It's not unobtainium in that it's like water. Like you can just get it.
Oh, okay.
It's they never fight for it. It's never a problem. They just go, these function now. And the only thing that ever has to do with it in the plot is the Minovsky particles, is what they keep saying all the time.
I'm sorry, the what?
The Minovsky particles.
Okay.
Which from what I understand is actually a theoretical real science term. Like it's a real thing in that the jet fuel is what I'll call it now. It emits enough of a particle with all of these ships that it like interferes with like radio waves.
Okay.
Communications go dark, radar goes dark. Enough Gundams get around, and it's just a fog of war.
Okay.
That's the only plot it has. So if we accept the magic that is this jet fuel and its radar, I think of that as like, okay, this is the one step of science fiction. It's not space worms and dust that makes people prescient and whatever, all
Right.
this stuff. You know, like there's so much in Dune that has those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Or Star Wars, it's the swords and breathing in space and the Force and this little green guy
Right.
and like all the different types of races. It's like you're still just humans. It's still colonization is the problem. Imperialism is the problem. A need for independence, taxation without representation. Those are the problems of this world. We have giant robots and we're colonizing space in the year like 2250. We go to space and start the year UC00.
And because
That's how that goes.
of gravity not pulling their souls down, their midichlorian count
Now-
goes up. And so they can
Yes.
got
So
it.
now we get to what's the magic of the show. It's literally not in the show for the first show until episode 40 of 50.
But Amuro is there the whole
Now,
time. He just
Amuro's
doesn't
there the
know.
whole time. Char's there the whole time. They have great instincts. Is what we're being
Oh.
told. Why is this guy moving like that? Like he can almost see his spidey sense. He can almost see my attack before it's coming. Amuro isn't like, oh, he's going to shoot to the left, so I'm going to dodge to the. Oh, he's just like, I feel the need to move this way. That's why he's such a good pilot. That's why Char is such a good pilot. Yin and yang.
For the first 40 episodes, it's the heart of the cards. Post 40 episodes, the Millennium Puzzle's giving him the card he needs. Okay.
Yes. So
Got
then
it.
you're like, oh shit, that thought, that instinct he has is fucking psychic powers. You know? Now it's
Awesome.
They still seem to measure some kind of balance, unlike Yugi, where it's like, well, if we all had Millennium Puzzles, this would be a different game.
Yeah.
It's every side of the war has these new types, but there's only a couple.
Gotcha.
And it's Char's discovery of the new types being a thing. One, I'm a new type, but he meets Lala, who's a major character in the first one. Again, only towards the end.
Yeah, the yellow
But
Teletubby.
She's yellow.
Oh, look at that.
That's funny.
That's weird.
Well, she's wearing yellow, I should say.
It's not a Simpson character.
She's not a Simpsons character. She wears like a yellow dress.
Gotcha.
But she like in the movies you find her funny enough on Earth because she's been brought to Earth to like help. She's like enslaved to some guy to like help him cheat in like poker.
Oh,
So,
But of course.
So what does Char do? Fucking kill all of them and take her.
damn straight.
My man. And he's like, we can do better than this. So he uses her for like war strategy because now his whole goal is to be, I want new types to exist. He's like, we could.
Oh.
He's like, I want to ascend the human race. We could all be new types if we just go to space. But you fucks on Earth want space gone. So I'm trying to stop Earth from making it so that we are Earthian. They use Earthians and space noids is like how they.
Why
say
do
it.
why do Earthians not want space? What's wrong with space? Why are they against
Well, let me tell you about
space?
side 3.
Okay.
Side 3. Side is what they call the sections of space.
Gotcha.
Side 3, where the Xeon colonies are, is where Xeon Zoom Daikun gets assassinated by the zombies.
Okay.
Zombies, the big bad guys, the guys screaming at the sky, rallying the people. They renamed the colony Xeon, and they essentially pull in America. They're like, fuck you, Britain. We're over here. We're doing better over here. We're going to govern ourselves.
Oh.
Xeon Zoom Daikun is like, we're going to govern ourselves. Everything's going to be great. Zombies like, yeah, but we could also fucking kill Earth. Assassinates the guy, then starts like a war. So it's kind of like, normally you'd say, oh, aren't you on the side of America? Aren't you on the side of America gaining its independence? Aren't you on the side of these places are being governed by a thing that hasn't been, that's like so far away from them for 80 years? It's like just, we can be our own government.
Right.
And that's the idea is each colony can be its own government is what they're essentially pitching. Now they do that by taking one of their fellow governments and dropping them on the earth and, terrorizing and attacking and stuff.
Okay.
But funny enough, based on some of the actions of the 6 movies, you go, yeah, fuck these Earth guys. You're like, actually, they should have their independence. So you're kind of fighting with them in a way. So Earth is like, all right, fuck it. If you all want your independence, we don't want that.
Oh, we don't want anything to do with space.
We don't want any. Yeah, we don't want you guys to, because you dropped a fucking colony on us.
Gotcha.
You're done for. We're gonna resubmit you is essentially it. And of course, the bad guys in space, they just keep doing terrorism. You're like, as Earth, as Gundam, you're like, we should be stopping this. Like we should be stopping all the terrorism and stopping from killing the colonies. Some colonies are with Earth still, some colonies are with them. So now you've got all these different sides in the war, and that's how the war kind of starts.
Gotcha. Okay. James says, feels like we need a video of Stokes explaining Gundam. We need a deep dive from Stokes. Yes. I feel like
You're getting it.
I feel like we're getting it right now, right? It's
it.
pretty good. I'm following pretty close. I get it now. It's all exciting to watch the movie on Sunday and be like, oh, I see what he's saying. Okay.
Yeah. So that was at the end of the first series, with maybe some tinglings from other people. You have 3 new types.
Okay.
Amuro, good guy. Char, bad guy. His lackey, Lala, she dies.
No.
Amuro, she kind of like, he goes to kill Char. She steps in front. Who killed who? Whose fault is this? Amuro lives with the guilt forever because in one of the trippiest fucking sequences I've ever seen, as he kills Lala, dude. Anytime the new types start fully activating their abilities, they're in the position of their cockpit, but they're floating in space. And they're literally talking to each other.
Okay.
As they're like face to face in Gundams and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. But their spirit is like a glowing shit around them and they fucking interlink. And now Lala's like in his mind. Because when they die, the soul, it's like part of this almost like Ethereum that they never talk about. But it's like, all right, well, you just join the Ethereum.
It's like the Speed Force?
It's almost like, I really, really hate to compare it to this, but it's like Yoda in The Last Jedi. Where it's like, you're just here now.
Oh.
Like, you're dead, but you just can appear and fucking strike the book
you
with
can just
lightning
affect
and
the
whatever.
world, yeah.
Now they don't affect the world. They've never affected the world, but they essentially go like, okay, you're just near me. I can sense you, dude. End of Zeta Gundam gets crazy.
Okay.
They essentially get the what is it? And is it Harry Potter where all the fucking dead people like join Harry to like lift him up?
Oh yeah. Well, he's got the stone.
The stone.
Yeah. And
it's
so,
the same kind of thing, except the Zeta Gundam that they create is 4 new types because at this point they realize they exist, and without realizing how attuned to a new type it is, it's like all the people that died in the show leading up to it are also new types. Join in, and he goes Super Saiyan, and I was like, is this the first Super Saiyan? Like, is this it? Because it's like literally like fucking fire coming off the top. I was like, yo, shit, it's happening.
Okay.
It was dope. And what's cool about this is just soft thing, but cool about Gundam, all the explosions, all the energy, all the Minovsky shit, it's all pink. So anytime a Gundam explodes, it's in pink.
Of
and I'm
course.
like, fuck yeah,
Why
dude. He's
not?
got pink fire shooting around him. I'm like, dude, how do I get this on a Gunpla? Just set my Gunpla on fire, I guess. It was dope.
Okay.
But once we jump to Zeta, after there's the 3, whatever, we jump 9 years. Now, the Earth is trying to create new types.
Oh.
They're trying to like genetically engineer new
To
types
fight
on
space
Earth.
noids?
Yes.
Okay.
But also, yeah, they essentially are just to make super soldiers is kind of the
Right,
idea.
yeah.
But how are they doing it? They're wiping out people's brains. They're fucking filling them with fake memories. They're sending them in as spies. Their new type abilities don't quite work. And it's almost like, it's like the people that have the ability are like, what the fuck is up with this person? They're like, there's something weird. And everyone's getting headaches all the time. They're like, I have no idea what's happening. Because it's like fake
Yeah.
new type stuff.
It's like smile fruits in One Piece that aren't exactly devil fruits,
The
but
ones
they're
that
fake.
Doflamingo's making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I listen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. For me. Unfortunately, I know this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's there, but it's not there. So that's why I'm almost with Char now, because by the end, when he's like, I'm all about at the beginning of the show, he's like, I'm all about revenge. By the end, he's like, I really just want new types to be able to exist. Like we can evolve as humans. He eventually gets to the point where he's like, y'all need to get off Earth. And you're going to be on his side because there's two reasons to get off Earth. One, we have enough space up here, literally.
Space, yeah.
We have enough
It's
space. We
Well,
can
they
make
call
more
it.
colonies. We can whatever. We can be up here. We can evolve. We can become new types. The species will be better for this.
Makes sense.
And two, we have skull fucked the Earth. It needs to regrow itself. Like humans are a plague on this planet, and it needs to stop.
Char gets it.
Char.
Char gets it.
It is CH, but
Okay.
it's Char.
It's Char.
It's funny watching people who have only clearly had subtitles on pronounce things that I'm like, dude, like they say it so clearly. Why are you making fun of this word or this name? It's like because they're just reading it.
Hey, Titus Titus, you know?
Well, yes.
So if you only read it, sometimes it just doesn't come together.
Caesar Kaiser,
Yep, exactly.
which is almost the joke of why
yeah,
that's
that
his
is,
name.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So he ends up getting to the point where he's like, "You guys are so stuck on Earth. I'm gonna fucking kill you on Earth. Then we need Earth to come back."
Hey, you know?
So, but again, what makes a good villain is one that you're like, Thanos
you
was
know
right.
what?
You know,
Yeah,
Thanos
had
was
it.
something.
He was
There's
thinking,
something
dude.
here. He's
He was
here.
thinking.
So Char, it's going to be the same kind of thing where that's kind of where I assume, unless something happens in Double Zeta around him, because again, he's not in the show, unless something happens around him that he like fully changes. But it sounds like Amuro is going to want both to exist. We can fix the Earth and be on Earth and have new types and this. And now is he looking for the fucking Rainbow Sunshine Land? I don't know. I also, if you look forward, if I'm looking at it right, I think it's a spoiler in a way, but almost like, well, there's a Spider-Man movie after this.
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, well, Char's in this next show.
Right.
So it's not like he fully, like his idea is eradicated and we're living in Happy Dreamland. Gundam, not known for Happy Dreamland. We're probably going to get some sort of middle ground reckoning in the middle. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen, but yeah.
Amuro, growing up the way he did, still feels like there's an outcome where everybody wins. Crazy.
I think, well, yeah, it's tough because he also, obviously being a new type, he did not grow up on Earth.
Right.
But he's been to Earth and he's existed there for a long time that he's like, Earth is fine. He fought for Earth. As someone in space, he fought for Earth. He just happened to be, I think it was side 7. There's so many fucking sides. I don't remember, but side 7, where his dad was the one who was building the Gundam for Earth because they were aligned with Earth. And it was that was like a R&D section of space where it's like, we're here. It's almost like a military base where it's like, here's a little colony just as a military base.
Okay.
So, but it's cool, dude. I mean, what I really like about it is the kind of bullshit that's like in Dune, the Bene Gesserit, the Kwisatz Haderach, Muad'Dib, the what's the
Lisa
Lisa Nalgaid, all of those things. I am Paul Atreides, Duke of Arrakis, Muad'Dib, you know, all that bullshit. There is so much of that bullshit in this that I now know that I'm like, I'm in.
You're in.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's like they call every pilot ensign.
Okay.
What does that mean? Why? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But there's also, well, this place used to be named this, but now it's named this because after this war, it was taken over by these guys. And it's like a Bawaku. And you're like, what kind of fucking name is a Bawaku? And then it turns into GRIPS, which is an acronym.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Gotcha.
Well, it's an acronym with a Y.
Oh, GRYPS?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gripes.
But it's also weird they do have names like Aman Khan, but it's KARN. you're like,
Khan?
you're saying Khan.
But it's
Are you
like
saying
Karn.
Amon Karn?
Yeah,
Like
interesting.
the softest R ever. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard taking these names. Or the GM, I forget what that actually stands for, but they call it the Gym.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a card we play.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just the names they come up with and stuff. I'm like, sure. It's less steeped in Middle Eastern history, like Dune is, but
Yeah.
it's still enough that I'm like, I like being on the end here.
Cool.
So that's what we watched.
That's what we watched. Now we're an hour and 47
Whenever you're
minutes
ready
in.
to talk more Gundam, dude, I'm in. Just
I was
know.
good. Well, at this point, I feel like we're so late now. It's like I didn't really have many topics. I had things I could bring up, but it's at this point, it's like why just throw them in at the end?
You're
I feel
right.
like
Let's
we
keep
could-
going.
Okay.
The girl that you saw,
Yeah.
with the lips, the color like blue lips and the teal hair.
Yeah.
Her name was 4. She was the 4th pseudo new type.
Oh, okay.
She had lost all of her memories.
Wait,
Whatever.
pseudo? Like fourth, like fake?
Yeah, they're called cyber new types.
Oh, okay.
Which is just like we were cybernetically enhanced to like a DNA sort of thing.
So she's the fourth of that, but not the fourth.
She's like we have WD-40. Like it was water displacement test number 40. It's the one that worked. Now we have WD-40.
Gotcha.
It's the same thing of like she's 11 in Stranger Things.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they didn't work or got killed.
But the 3 new types, Lala gone. There's not
that's
a
not
fourth?
how the 4th. And Char's sister might be a new type.
Oh, there's a lot of
Char-
maybes.
So there's a lot of like, I see. There's a new type in you, but it's like, look, all of us can be new types. Like we can all we'll eventually just evolve to all be new types, and then we'll be speaking like psychically. There's like a feeling of like an empathy sort of that happens of like, I'm on your side now because I fully understand you because of this, but you still want to kill me because you're a cyber new type. And you don't. Your programming is like literally changed. She's not literally a cybernetic like person, but
Right.
Programming
Yeah.
is telling you to kill me. It gets real strange though. One of the memories that's replaced is that this is another one.
Okay.
Hers is replaced that she is Camille's brother. So he shows up on a colony and she goes, brother, and he's like, who the fuck are you?
Is Camille the guy that
Camille's the good guy.
the good guy?
Yeah, blue hair.
Oh, blue hair,
Yeah,
white pants.
I think that was Amuro.
Okay, I thought so too. Okay, I don't think I saw the blue.
You watched
Oh.
an episode that was one of those cameo spots.
Was he the guy that's in the car that's driving her?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yep,
Cool.
yep, that's Camille.
Okay. See,
Camille Bidon.
Camille Bidon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's the other thing. Char Aznable, the Red Comet.
Yep.
You know, kind of what was the Red Baron sort of thing, where
Yep.
he's like, he's the ace pilot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's the
Snoopy.
he's the best. He's Snoopy.
Yep, yep.
He's
The pizza.
The pizza. Oh, Red Baron pizza. I was like, I don't know about that one.
Yep.
Yes. He's the best there is. He's the one that's like, you don't want him. You don't want the jackal coming for you. You know what I mean?
exactly.
That kind of thing. So he's well known. People know his face. People know he was commander of this, leader of that.
Well, it's hard not to know his face
defeater
when he
of
wears
this.
the mask,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, that's why he wears the mask actually.
Oh, but
But
isn't
the
he
mask
more
is,
recognizable?
Well, so in Zeta, he is not Char Aznable. Now we know he is.
Okay.
But people don't know. The people around him don't know, and it ends up becoming like when he finally reveals it, he has this "I am Iron Man" moment on the podium when people don't know who he is. And Camille goes, "That is the worst kept secret." Like period. Like everyone knows who you are. So that was funny. I was like, okay, good. We're all in agreement.
It's like that scene from Green Lantern.
His name though, Quattro Bagina.
What?
That's the name that he takes as like, I am Lieutenant Quattro Bagina. I am not Char Aznable.
Quattro.
Quattro. Like,
Four.
Quattro.
Quattro Bagina.
Quattro
And then the
Bagina.
girl is 4. So you have Quattro and 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Now it's like there's so many names that tie to so many different, like I'm like, well, that's a very German sounding thing. That's a very American sounding thing. Some of them you're like, I guess.
Okay.
Like one of the characters in Gundam, his name's Bernie.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, okay, that's like picking a very unique American name out, you know? But then you have someone named Quattro, and I'm like, sure. I
Just
guess
mix and
you
match.
have Lala, you know? And you're like, oh, Camille. Okay, Badon. And I'm, what's that? You know? It just doesn't. Whereas Kwisatz Haderach, Beni Gesserit, Lisan Al Gaib, you're like, oh, these are all Arabic. This is all from Arabic.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to find. Yes. So
Okay, hit me with it.
Char Aznable.
Char Aznable. Quattro
Bagina.
Bagina.
The Red Comet.
The Red Comet.
Before that,
Uh-huh.
he's living under an alias because he's an escaped son of Zeon Zum Daikun, the leader of Side 3.
Yep.
That name, Eduardo Mass.
Oh, so normal.
No, not Eduardo. Sorry, Edward.
Oh.
But it's like, they just call him Edward. But it's Edward
Edward.
Mass.
Like Squidward,
Squidward.
but Edward.
Edward.
Okay.
Mass. That's his alias name. What does he do? He meets Char Aznable
Oh.
on, I'm going to say on, it's going to sound weird, on Texas.
Okay.
Because there's essentially a theme park colony that is just recreating Texas on Earth. That's like a go live in the West.
Oh, okay.
That's where he goes to hide, is like essentially in a theme park with the Mass family.
And Mass is M-A-S, like Mass?
Mass.
Okay.
He meets someone who looks exactly like him,
Oh.
but his eye color is different.
Oh.
Hence the glasses.
Okay.
Because he's like, if anyone ever finds out, because this guy, son of the person who like runs Texas, big guy, big name, accepted into the academy, to go work for Zeon before there's a war. They're still bad guys, still assassinated his dad.
Right.
He's trying to infiltrate it from inside. He's on a revenge plot.
Yep.
What does he do?
Kills the guy that looks like him?
Kills the guy that looks like him.
Perfect.
Takes his identity.
Why not?
He's now Char Aznable.
Oh.
But really, he's Edward Mass. But really, his name is Kazval Rem Daikun.
Kazval's cool.
Zeon Zum Daikun, Kazval Rem Daikun
Okay.
is his full name.
Casval.
That's his born name,
actual
his government name.
government name.
Casval,
What he was born
great
with.
name.
Great name.
His sister Sayla, not her name.
Okay.
I'm forgetting it off the top of my head because it's only in those first few movies. It's like Ariette or something like that.
Casval becomes Edward
He becomes
to
Ed.
steal
He becomes
Char
Edward to hide.
to hide.
Who does he run into? Kazval.
What?
No, he is Kazval. Who does he run into? Char.
Char
He kills Char.
becomes Char.
Becomes Char. Leads whatever, gains the Red Comet title. Disgraced because Zeon, whatever, he lost the war, but really he abandoned them to go work with Lala and try to to work on new types. And he changed his whole morals in that way, like softly to just, he's not
I'm
trying to
gonna
kill people. He's
focus
like, it's all about new types.
Okay.
It's all about human evolution now. He then becomes Quattro Bagina.
Yep. Forgot about that
When
one.
he finally,
I don't know how, but I
when
did.
he finally is like, I'm Char Aznable, he takes the name Char Daikun.
Okay.
So the last name of the estranged, fabled, deathed Zeon Zum Daikun,
Yep.
attach that to Char because he's Char now.
Yep.
Char Daikun. Motherfucker's got 5 names.
So, so he reveals himself to be Char Aznable. Do people think he is the son of the Texan?
No.
No, even though he's the name and he took his identity?
Why? Because that Texan, long gone.
Oh, okay.
They're dead.
Gotcha.
Because the Earth Federation, actually, as the bad guys.
Okay. This is insane.
There's a lot. There's a lot to it. But the whole time you see him, you're like, hey, that's Char.
I think my favorite part.
Motherfucker's wearing sunglasses inside. That's Char Aznable.
I think my favorite part is all this. You're like this, that, this. Oh yeah, this is why it works. And I go, Kingdom Hearts, and you go, oh come on. It's like the same.
No, it's not the same. It's not, dude.
It's a lot of the same.
It's not, though.
This guy has 5 different names. At least the people that I name are all actually 5 different beings.
Well, it's Paul Atreides, right?
No, because
The Duke of Arrakis.
Yeah, but that's a title.
The Kwisatz Haderach, the Muad'Dib, the Lizan al Gaib.
Title. This guy's taking literal names, and I go, this is Zemnis, this is this, and this. They're actually different identities, at least, like different bodies.
Yeah, this guy doesn't, he's always going to be Char. Like, how do you look at that guy and go like, that could be anybody else, you know what I mean? No way.
I'm telling you, it's the helmet. I take off the helmet, I wouldn't know who he is.
Yeah, I guess you don't, because he does wear the mask helmetless in the
Oh,
show.
okay.
So you like, it's not one unit.
Oh.
So that's like just I don't know what I
like
call it. You actually,
it's like
it's in his card.
It's like the Vader mask, where it looks like it's just one thing, but then when they show it built, it's like the helmet goes on top.
It goes on top. It's the case.
Gotcha.
Char Asnable Gundam card is what I'm
It
looking
actually even has the same shape as the Vader helmet. The helmet part, at least. The dome.
at. So here, oh man, that is so tiny. Well, here's his alternate art. There it is hanging on his neck.
Oh, wow.
So it's literally just like a superhero mask.
Okay.
And then he puts that's his pilot's helmet, but
Right.
you know. What a pretty boy in this thing, huh?
Yeah.
They really prettied him up. When really it's like, that's the Char I know, where it's just like hard ass. With the hair, dude. The hair is so good.
Hair's good.
Guy looks good in the helmet.
And that's what we're going to go see on Sunday.
That's what we're seeing?
Well, we're
Dude.
seeing more of this.
Dude.
Okay, hold on.
It sounds like, well, because probably not you. I know. But we're all getting the same Gundam. Because there's like one Gundam model that like people, is just like the dopest shit.
Are they going to have that many of them?
I don't know.
Okay.
I told him I called dibs because it was my idea. I was like, I can't wait. Now, once we watch this movie, I'm going to get the Sazabi.
Gotcha.
Because it's dude, look at that thing. Look at the size of this bitch. The high grade of it is the size of a master grade.
Wow.
So a master grade is like, it's a monster.
I was gonna say, that's a thick boy.
That's a thick boy. He's ready to launch. But I'm ready to see it in action.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope I gave you enough background prepping for the movie and also enough reason why I'm not watching Double Zeta.
Yeah. Yeah, I follow it. It all makes logical sense.
Of course.
You're a quitter, but other than
ABCD.
that, no, I'm just kidding.
You know, we're laying in bed. Shay's like, hey, can I read for a little bit? I got this many pages left. I was like, how did you end with 4 pages left?
Right? How does that
I was
happen?
like, how did you stop here? You could have just kept going wherever you were. You could be driving a car, finish these last couple pages. And she's like, I know, I don't know, it's kind of sad, it's a little depressing. She finishes it, and I was like, well, she's like, that was hard. That was hard to read. And I was like, why'd you read it? She's like, I don't know. People told me it was good. I was like, you should have just stopped in the middle. You've been telling me how sad this shit is, and how she's like, I'm reading shit I'll never get out of my brain because it's like hardcore or whatever. I'm like, then stop. You're saying this negatively.
Yeah.
I watched Ichi the Killer to check the list, but I got a lot of fond memories of watching.
Yeah.
I can tell people I watched Ichi the Killer now, and I'm okay with it. It lives in my mind. I'm clearly fine. Anyway,
Yeah.
clearly.
Is your what's his face next to the tree?
yeah. God, I don't remember his name. But
It's also
I was like, it's okay to not finish things. I was like, it's called DNF in reading for a reason, right? Like did not finish, DNC did not complete, something like that.
it's also
So
it wasn't going to get better in those 4 pages. I don't know what could have happened in those 4
right.
pages.
She's like, I'm 4 pages away from completing. I mean, if I got 2 episodes away from finishing Double Zeta and I was like, this sucked, I would be like, it's 2 more episodes.
Yeah, you're
Like,
gonna finish it at
I'll
that
just
point,
finish it. But
If you
I
had 20 episodes
I
in-
watched 1 episode and started. Then I was like, let me look further into this before I keep going. And I was like, oh, I'm done.
There it is.
If I got 20 episodes in and don't like something, I stop it. Sometimes I get 20 episodes in and I like it and I stop it just for whatever reason. So I'm a big proponent of if it's not worth your time, don't spend the time.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting more and more realization I have less and less time.
I also think though that because I don't think Derek's going. I'll double check with him. But if it's me, you, Derek, Justin, Nick, I am the only one who has seen a single episode of anything in this entire timeline. Who gives a fuck if I don't watch that last shitty series? I've watched. It was 30 hours, I think, of Zeta. Like I watched 30 hours of that, let alone all the other shows, all the other side plots. I have the model kits. I've built the stuff. Like I'm in this timeline. Everything I told you is just in this one timeline.
Yeah.
Right? I've clearly got the knowledge base to be fine watching this movie, so I really don't need to finish.
You'll be fine.
I comforted myself.
There you go.
Self-soothing. It's important.
I mean, we'll be all asking questions probably.
I'll have a lot of answers for you.
There we go. Actually, we'll just turn this episode on for him in the
say-
car
yeah, if
on
you
the drive down.
Hey Nick, hey Justin, hey Derek.
Here's this episode. This will get you prepped for the movie.
Yeah. Then they'll have questions. They'll be asking me while my voice is over the mic.
Yeah, it'll be a mess.
Surround sound Stokes in 4K. Dolby Stokes.
But it seems like a great place to end it because
It's 2.
Yeah, it's 2:00.
Because I talked for an hour and a half about Gundam and Destiny. God damn it, I have a problem. And they all got to do with space.
They all have to do with space. It was interesting halfway through that though. You kept saying space, and I was like, oh, space is like a plot thing in this. Like in my head, I was just like, it's the future. They're in space. It's just like space isn't important in Star Wars. It's just they have different planets, but space isn't like a contention. It's just everyone's in space.
Yeah, well, and it's also, because what is it? Earth to Mars and then Earth to the moon. We don't get to Mars, but we go past the moon. So we're not far. Like
Right.
we being human civilization in Gundam. It's not far. So it's like, as I said, I think I told when I was first watching it, I watched those movies, I was like, it has the essence of Dune, and now I feel it even more. So I'm like, wow, it really does. They got a lot of inspiration from Dune with the geopolitical, the families that take over, the families that are essentially have fiefdom over these different colonies and things like that. Like I see that, but instead of being intergalactic, it's here. Like it's just past the moon. That's it. I mean, who knows how far, because they go, I'm traveling to side 4. Boom, I'm at side 4.
Yeah.
Because we're not here for the travel, really.
Right.
There's no like get to the mission episode or something, you know.
I mean, there's a lot of that in Star Wars where they just do the side wipe and they're on the next planet or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that it's like it's farther, but it's not so far that it's like in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're on this planet. It's just
We
like,
got to go light speed to blank or what. Yeah.
well, and really, there's only like, besides sides, side 3, side 7, side 4, like I mentioned, it's not like Texas is the only colony that had a name.
Gotcha.
That I mean, there are probably other ones that they like have a name, but it's not that important,
Right?
Because they're just about to explode anyway.
Gotcha.
But then there's like bases, like I told you, Grips or
Yeah,
Bawaku. Those are like things, and they're like asteroids. They're like spinning top-shaped asteroids. Or there's a base called whatever, like Jaburo on the moon. Like there's all these different. Granada is on the moon.
Okay.
Jaburo's on Earth. But there's like bases that you have to memorize. But otherwise, it's not whole planets. It's like places. They're like actually places I can understand in my mind.
Also more understandable why Earth's such contention. If it's all right there, it's not. There's not other planets that are in contention or anything like that.
It has the feeling of where were we in the 1700s to Europe. Now Europe's not as far because we can travel.
Right.
And that might be part of the problem too. I don't really know. But it's like that's where, we're being ruled by Europe from that far away. It's many days, months travel to get to that spot.
Right.
That how can they possibly govern us as we're this huge mass of people starting to expand and fill space.
Gotcha.
So it does have that scope. I like the scope.
Very cool. Well, we're gonna wrap up now. What a great show by Stokes today.
We're gonna wrap it up on Mike.
Yeah, I
got more to talk about.
I was here. Stokes really ran the show today. It was a great time.
Hey, you asked the right questions. You know what I mean? You ran the interview.
Yeah.
You ran the Gundam interview.
There
You're
you
going to
go.
be the second most informed in that car.
Yes, I am, baby. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Really appreciate it. James, have a wonderful time playing whatever game you're on right now. I forget which one you said you were jumping to. Are you doing more Monster Hunter today, maybe? Hopefully you are, James. Tron,
Monster Hunter
thanks for
James?
hanging out, everybody. Anyone else that was here, not in chat, or somebody I missed, thanks so much for hanging out. Stokes, do you have anything else?
Oh, yeah, I do. Not for the show, though.
Too bad, because we're going to wrap up as we always do and say sweet dreams and see you for breakfast.